everybody, and welcome. This is episode 13 of the Uncensored Anime Podcast, where we discuss and review all things about anime uncensored. Today is another very special episode. Not only is it special, it's super duper special because an Uncensored Anime Podcast first, not only do we have guests here, but we have two guests.
Yay!
And they are Henry and Leslie, aka Nakama Collections. Welcome to the podcast. Very happy to have you both here.
Yay!
Today Hello, how are you guys feeling? You guys excited?
Oh yes, we're super excited. We we don't know what this is going to be about for the most part, besides Fate. But I'm excited. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm a little nervous. Yeah. But fine.
I'm just ready to talk about Fate. That's
talk about
it and get into it.
That's it. Yeah, that's all we just need that, Leslie. That's all we need.
All right, awesome. Well, Jerry, why don't you cue us up with we're going to get to their, as a question that we ask all of our guests on the podcast, their top 3 anime. So let's just go ahead and start with that. So,
most tough question you could be asked as an anime fan. What are your top 3? And one thing I like to preface this because some people take it one way or another, but when we say your top 3, it's your top 3 favorite anime. So we don't want, I understand that sometimes your favorite anime isn't the best anime, right? So it's not the 3 that you think are the best anime of all time or the most critically acclaimed. These are the 3 your most precious, your favorite anime of all time. So for both of you, I expect the list to be different, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe you guys have the same top 3. But what are your top 3 favorite anime of all time? So I'll let you guys take the rails. What do you guys think it is? Are you still thinking?
Henry, go.
On the spot.
Go for it, Henry.
All right, here we go. So, sheesh, this is so hard. I mean, probably the hardest question you can ask an anime fan. Like,
it is.
Yeah, it really is.
But, I think overall, I have to say, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just say stuff. So One Piece has to be up there.
Okay.
There's no specific order. There's just so many great animes out there. I can't.
He said One Piece is somewhere in the top 3. It's up there.
One Piece is up there, and I guess the reason why One Piece is just I've been through everything with One Piece, like in a way. Like it's just so emotional. I love the story about it. The progression. The things that Oda has done, as a creator of One Piece, I think for us anime fans, it's like he like we've had moments in One Piece where our minds were blown, like the reveal whenever Shanks appeared in Marineford, and stuff like that, and
Going Merry.
Oh, I've never cried for a ship as much as I
haven't recovered yet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
For real. But yes, those emotional scenes are always. I mean, I can even just hands down the Ace's death is just every single time we watch it, just tears.
It's powerful.
Spoilers for One Piece.
Yeah, hopefully.
Even though he was written to die, off, Oda, he made him for that reason. It was just, it still got all of us, I think.
Yeah.
But One Piece for all those reasons. And then.
The other 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out and say probably Fate Limited Blade Works.
Okay.
Getting into the Fate franchise, I feel somewhat new still getting into the Fate franchise, so trying to figure out everything to this day. Still trying to figure out and connect everything, but I watched it enough where I see UBW again, and I'm like, God, this thing is a masterpiece. Like, I think UFO Table did with Fate, and what they're still doing with Fate is just top notch. And that goes without saying, we're so ready for Heaven's Feel Part 3.
Part 3, yeah. It was delayed, right? If I know correctly, wasn't it supposed to come out this year?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, and we finally got our tickets. We're gonna watch it. I'm trying not to think about it too much because I just want to go in there and blown away in a sense.
Wow.
Are you gonna prep with the other 2 movies too?
November
we got
18th?
it. We're gonna watch it next week Friday
or something like that.
Oh, it's actually it's hitting okay, so you're gonna be able to go see. Oh wow, I thought it got pushed all the way back to next year.
It's
That's
actually
good.
pushed back like more than twice. I think maybe 3 times.
Jeez.
So we just grabbed those tickets as soon as it hit. So we're excited.
You're gonna go sit in a socially distanced theater and have to like mask up the whole time, but it's gonna be an experience. That's for sure. That's interesting.
Well, I was gonna say for the last one, the last pick. I mean, we all know how beautiful the story was, character development. Boku no Pico.
Oh.
Why did that throw me?
We gotta wrap it up, boys. This is actually all we have for today. I didn't think we were gonna get to Boku. It only took David. It only took us 13 episodes to get to Boku no Pico. So here we are.
I had to look it up. I was like, wait, I legit don't know what that is.
Oh, you know? Oh, it went right over David's head. Kenny and I were like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah,
Come on, it's an instant classic. Okay, we can't deny.
Oh man.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, for the last one, pick number 3. I think something a little different with every pick, but I would probably say, and shout out to Leslie on this one because she's the one that kind of got me into this genre. Clanad.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Just the original, or
that has made me cry. Also, that's definitely one of them.
Is this a recent thing, Henry? Like you watched Clanad recently, and it is now jumped to your top 3?
It's been a minute already.
Okay.
I would say, well, to jump up there. Yeah, I would say like in my Instagram post. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yeah.
Tagged me. Dark Sage. He's the one that tagged me.
Yeah, I know. Sage tagged me too.
I had put Clanad on there, and I don't know. I just thought about it really hard. Anything that KyoAni has done also, like, is just, I think they do such an amazing job with storytelling, and Clanad is just one of those.
And
but,
they had that was the company that had the big fire that happened at their studio, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say, I don't know if they've even, I assume they've recovered, but I don't remember actually following up or reading about the story after, like, what happened. But yeah, Clanad's, I think a lot of people consider it a classic just because I mean, hell, it's just one of those ones that just hits you. I don't know. It's just, it's one of those shows. If viewers, if you haven't seen it, it's worth it. It's like a little slow in the beginning, maybe is a word that I think some people, especially that are maybe used to, like, maybe if you're coming from the shonen genre, or if it's like your first time dabbling outside of that area, you might have a tough time watching through it, because there's Clanad and then there's Clanad After Story, right? And then yes. And so I'm about to say, I feel like there's, if you're coming from shonen or from and you've never given a shot, Clanad's a great show to start with. I think it's one of those ones that's a good, like, segue into drama, into a series like that. So yeah, good. Damn, Nakama snaps. I didn't think we were going to talk about Boku no Pico and Clanad in the same episode of this podcast.
That correlation is parallel.
I mean, I was also thinking about High School D&D, Prison School.
This man's going straight top tier waifus. That's what we're doing.
High School of the Dead, maybe.
No. Oh, that show's beautiful.
They didn't do anything with it afterward.
I head out.
Oh no, Leslie! No.
She's out.
No, David's over here researching. So David is like probably the least researched. He's like High School DxD.
I've seen that.
Oh,
come on now.
Okay, David. Okay, great.
Every episode, I'm always adding things to my queue.
I'm like,
Leslie, I think that means it's your turn. What I think now that I think Henry answered very clear. You know, we know exactly his top 3 now. Leslie, what do you think? Where are you at here?
where I'm at, I would say it, like everybody says, it's a very hard question, but not necessarily because of your library of anime that you've seen, but because you got to think about what has impacted you the most, what has stayed with you throughout your adolescence, throughout everything, right? So it's just the one where you could just go back, remember, and like, wow, that nostalgia hits you. So for me, definitely my favorite anime of all time, and I'm going to have to say it's Angel Beats.
Oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't know that.
It actually is. It's my favorite anime of all time because it's actually the most watched anime in my list. I've seen it over 15 times.
Wow.
Wow.
The anime that I have seen more than anything. And then, it's done a lot for me. And it was the first anime where I was like, wow, so there's not just a bunch of muscular men just fighting each other and throwing spirit volleys and all of that. So to me, it was I was like, this is more suited to me in my feminine ways. So
right.
I felt like it was an anime that really propelled my future taste in anime, right? So,
and I mean that intro also.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's the immediate thing I thought of. Yeah,
it's really good. So that one would definitely have to be in my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, we have to all give it to the original 2006 Studio Dean animated Fate Stay Night. That is glorious to me. A lot of people don't like it because it was 2006. You know what? It's just anime was different back then.
Yeah.
So Studio Dean was honestly, it was a big thing back then. You know, that animation was just something that you've never seen in anime. So to me, Fate Stay Night, I watched it when it first came out in 2006. I had knowledge of the visual novel whenever released in 2004. So I've always been very savvy in it. So when I found out that anime was coming out, I was like so excited, and I'm talking to my cousins. They have no idea what I'm talking about. All they know is Goku, Vegeta, and that's it. So
my lord!
Yeah, I had that kind of upbringing. So
Luffy,
all of that,
Luffy, Ichigo,
right? Everything. And so
Naruto.
Something that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Sorry
And
to cut you off.
I love it. And then the third one, the third one is Canon.
Oh.
Okay.
We're gonna go back to so the third one is Canon.
A lot of KyoAni in there.
I love
Yes.
KyoAni. You know, I would say Clannad too, but for me, Clannad definitely has hit the spot, and it's in my top 5.
Right.
It doesn't smack to me like Canon does. Canon was also an anime that really impacted me, and it may not be everybody's favorite because some of the characters are a tad bit annoying. I will admit to that, but it's a sense of nostalgia and warmth that I get, that I grew up with those characters, and then that after that, you know, big show hitters came out like Clannad, Charlotte, Angel Beats, like all of that stemmed from Canon.
Yeah,
so
they really do.
One of them too, but 3 would definitely have to be Angel Beats, Fate Stay Night, and Canon. So
that's awesome. That's good. That's a good list. That's like that's a great Kenny.
Yeah, it's because Canon, you see, like whenever her Nendrid came out, oh man. I forget. See, like it's hard to.
I gotta get that one. Gotta.
Her Nendrid's actually releasing, so we pre-ordered it, and I can't. What was her name?
That's
Yui. No, it's not Yui. Oh man.
I feel like that's one of my favorite lists that we've had on the show yet.
That's her name.
Okay.
I love that, Leslie, because you're gonna hate me for this. Man, I don't know if I loved Angel Beats that much, but you don't. It's okay. You don't hate me too much. I watched it. I watched it under some tough. Okay, so when I was in college, I had these 2 buddies, and they were like, I don't know how to explain it, but they were the biggest Angel Beats fans like I've ever met. Like they cosplayed as characters from Angel Beats, and they would always flame me. They would always flame me because they were like, "Oh, Jerry, you like One Piece," and they're like, "We like sophisticated anime like Angel Beats," and I was like, "What's wrong with One Piece?" You know, so they were really aggressive, and so they finally made me watch it, and I watched it. You know, I was like, I will sit down, I watch the whole thing, I'll give it a fair chance, I'll give it a shot. And honestly, it's a really great bingeable. It's one of those shows you can watch in one. I watched it in one sitting. Like I sat down, I watched the whole show all the way through. I think it's got great characters. And it's one of those shows, so I really do. I think it's enjoyable, but it's like, man. But I don't know if and I see why, mainly because of the plotting of it. It has that impactful. The ending is the strongest part to me. There's a couple episodes in the middle that are like a little bit, you know, they had fun with the characters.
For sure.
But the ending is super good. And then that's where I could see why someone would say like, oh yeah, this is such an impactful show, especially if you watched it at a certain age or at a place in your life where like that message is so important. And so I was like, dang, but I'm also like a shonen fanboy, so I have to and I understand where you're coming from because Angel Beats, you know, I would be the first to admit also the story's there, but sometimes it gets very stale.
I will admit that. Maybe 13 episodes, it's still good. It's a good watch. Again, I would even recommend watching Angel Beats before Clannad, because with Clannad, it's 2 seasons. So you have to, kind of go through it and make sure you understand every episode to carry forward to the second season. So I would recommend Angel Beats as a good watch to introduce you to KyoAni.
Yes.
Definitely Charlotte as well. But Angel Beats, does have a lot of weak points. But I really like it because it's just something I never saw at that point in time. Yeah. I never, saw a show or a movie or an anime that really kind of did what Angel Beats did, which is the afterlife, because that's always kind of like a touchy subject. So the way Angel Beats kind of introduced that concept, at least at the time where I heard about it, I feel like it was like, wow, what am I watching? So it was definitely something great. But it does have its weak points. It does. And you know what? That's why I love it even more.
Yeah, I have to play. If my 2 buddies from college hadn't I feel like if I had watched it naturally and it wasn't like these 2, my 2 friends that were just like, Jerry, you have to watch Angel Beats. You have to watch Angel Beats all the time. Then I think I would have had a better time with it, because I was like, why are you guys on this so much, man? They cracked me up. They're 2 of the coolest kids, but kids, they're my age. I don't know why I'm calling them kids. 2 of the coolest guys. But it's just funny that they were so into Angel Beats. I don't even know why. I can't even remember why they loved it so much. They just did. They were just like, oh my god, Angel Beats all the time.
There's also one anime that always gets hate, and I still don't know why. I was even talking to Henry, and I don't know if y'all heard of Vampire Night.
David!
Are you making a joke right now?
I think she has to know. She has to know. She has to know.
Look at 0.
Oh my god.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
It's our favorite. The Vampire Night Podcast. The Vampire Night Podcast.
Vampire Night Podcast.
Wait, she actually has it. David. Vampire Night, the complete collection. The ultimate grail. Holy crap. Leslie, you just blew the top off. I didn't expect this. Oh my gosh, she has so much. Guys, this is crazy. Okay, so Henry, if you don't know the story.
One thing I love about Leslie is that when she's really into something and she wants to collect a certain thing about that anime or whatever, she really dives in.
That's
she
amazing.
Goes all out to get
everything.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
Oh my god. So if you don't know the story, so this is a great time to read. So I think we've only told the story on either episode 1 or one of the earliest podcasts we did. So essentially, when David and I were little 14-year-olds, we were freshmen in high school. I was really into anime already, and Tibbs was getting into it, I guess. And we first met because we had a couple mutual friends, people like that, and I met him, and he was carrying around volumes of Vampire Night. He was like this, this, and I was so confused, because for me, I was and he was introduced to it by his friends that were all girls at the time, and because wasn't Erica, someone from your middle school, got him on it, and I was like, David, this is the, what a weird anime to get into. I was like, bro, what? So we just joked that
I like it.
David's taste in anime. Oh yeah, I was like, David, and he was like, bro, I like it. He was like, it's good. It's good. And I was like, no. So we joked that David's anime taste was shaped by Vampire Night. That's how he is. Yeah. He's had to grow out of Vampire Night. That was his bait. But we've Kenny and I have actually never seen it. We just know bits and pieces about it.
Every week though, we mention Vampire Night on the podcast.
We've now brought it up every single episode.
Every single episode we bring up Vampire Night.
One of our friends bought that plushie for David and mailed it to him anonymously. After we kept doing it, so that's such a great. That's so funny that you have all that stuff, Leslie. I'd have never guessed.
I love
Vampire Night. Saw it again. See, I'm the type of person where if I like it at that time and period, I will watch it. If it hasn't been released, I read the manga first, and then watch the anime. So to me, a Vampire Night has always been there, and I kind of agree, because that actually is what propelled my love for that type of supernatural romance genre. Diabolical Lovers. Hello, do y'all know about that?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. Obviously, should I watch it?
I love it. So
okay.
Vampire Night is it's great, and the story gets even better in memories. And again, that's just for somebody that's already kind of suited to that type of genre in anime, so you'll understand. Like, it has cheesy tropes, it has everything that you want in an anime that was made in 2008 for
that's
like
awesome.
shoujo, like a shoujo category, and it's amazing.
Yes, that's so fun. Yeah, one day our joke. Yeah,
1,000 subscribers, and we'll watch Vampire Night on stream and end with a live stream review.
If we were to ever get 1,000 subscribers,
one of the goals.
We have joked that we will live stream our viewing of Vampire Night. Everyone go subscribe to the Uncensored Anime Podcast. Get us to 1,000 so that we can get the. Okay. This is a running joke. Also, every week Kenny disconnects randomly. We don't know what's wrong with his internet, but every week it has happened. And at first I used to edit it out, and now I've just started leaving it in. So it's a running joke. Kenny just bops in and out at least once.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys. So, honestly, guys, great. That's some of my favorite top 3 animes. I am a big fan. I think especially Canon. I'm always like, it's so weird. I remember watching that show as a kid as well. I have only slight memories of it, and I want to go back and revisit it. And you saying it's in your top 3 makes me consider going back and taking a look at it. But also just the diversity of the 6 anime that the two of you named is just great. And obviously, I've actually seen Fate Stay Night. The original one is the only one I've seen. I haven't seen anything past that. So that's why I think my plan is to watch Unlimited Blade Works eventually, especially after we have some of this conversation lately. Because I really would like to get into.
I'll be right back.
Oh my god! So my question, what I want to hear from you guys, is about this. So, what exactly was the starting point? Right? How did you guys end up? For me, it's like I like to hear where the origin is. Like, how did you guys end up so deeply into anime that your content has essentially become, what you do on the internet is all focused on anime at this point. So what has led you to this point? How did we get to this moment? And do you have any fun childhood stories about anime or anything about that maybe, if you guys were into it when you were young or if you got into it later? Where did it come from? How did we end up here? For both of you, you guys can answer together, separately, whatever. Nakamas, tell me, how did we end up here? How did we end up with anime as the foundation of our internet existence?
So I think for me, when I was younger, I was definitely more into the shonen stuff, but heavily into stuff like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I can really, it's crazy how, we say Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And nowadays, we talk about the TCG and Pokemon. I think I heard you, Jerry, saying something about talking about the TCG.
Yeah. Well.
But, it's crazy how big it's gotten. But for me, whenever I used to watch anime, I was deep. Man, I've been waiting for Ash to win the freaking what's it called? The championship and
whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it finally happened, and now he's like the mentor type of character for the main character. But I'm like, it took you guys how many years, how many decades for us to finally win the league?
Yep.
But for me, anime was probably, it started that way. I remember the first time I watched One Piece, it was the 4Kids dub.
Oh, yeah. I think the same for all of us.
God
yo.
His name is Luffy.
I'm grateful for 4Kids because it introduced me to One Piece in a way. Back then all we had was a TV, and I just turned it on, and it was like Saturday night or Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I used to play all the time, and I was watching One Piece. Whatever else 4Kids dubbed also. But yeah, I mean, it's just something that's been with me all my life. If we're talking about just anime overall,
100%.
I've always kept up with it. Of course, I pick and choose sometimes what I want to watch. What I do is, let's say somebody recommends me an anime, I'll watch the first episode, and if I'm interested in it, I'm like, all right, I'll keep watching it. If not, I'll just jump to something else. Because there's just so much anime, and there's a lot of great ones out there that I know I haven't seen yet. There's so much anime that, I mean, we lose count, really fast, trying to come up with all, different stuff to watch. But yeah, I don't know. I feel for me, anime has been something that's been with me all my life.
Dang.
And yeah.
Now wait, Henry, do you have siblings or anyone in your life that was into anime when you were little, or was it just you?
So I have one sister, but she like currently right now she's not into anime. If you try to make her watch an anime, she won't watch it. And it was interesting though. It was interesting that we were talking about like the Kyo Annie, animes that are out there. I would say that those are really good starting points for people probably like my sister, because she wouldn't go out of her way and watch a shonen anime with over 100 episodes.
Right.
She won't do that. But something
she wouldn't even let us play an opening. Can you believe that? That's criminal.
That's
she
the
said,
best part.
Yeah, that's what we love the most. Damn it!
We love opening.
Yeah, and I also, for me, it was a little different. I would say, my parents were like, "Oh no," because I grew up in a Hispanic family, so they always said, "Ah, no, son cosas del diablo, son cosas del demonio." I know you probably guys. I don't know if you guys understand.
I don't know what that. No idea.
I don't
David
know.
might be the closest.
No, they just didn't like me watching too much TV and stuff like that, so when I watched anime or a show like that, it was on my own time, or I had to do it just by myself.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. I've always watched anime, and
that's cool. Yeah, you found the internet just graced you with it, Henry. They were like, here's anime, and you said, "Oh my god, I'm in love." You saw your first. You accidentally opened up like High School DxD or something while you were 12 years old, and you were like, "Well, game over. This is it." Yeah.
Where are my tissues at?
Yeah. Oh my god. All right, Leslie. What about you?
So for me, it was actually more of a happy accident how I started watching anime, because I'm actually from California. I was born in California, and then I moved here in around 2007. So I've been here for a bit, but the way it happened, I used to go over to my cousin's house a lot. And so my cousins, just like big old bunch of them, it's just 5, one girl and then 4 guys. So you obviously know that at that time, guys, I feel like guys were always into anime as kids. I just feel like it was just common, at least where I was from. And so what happened was I've always been a tomboy, when I was growing up. So I always one of the cousins, like, you want to go play dolls? No, I want to watch, I don't know, whatever was going on, Dragon Ball Z, everything, right? So, but the way it happened was my brother and we were going to go to my cousin's house, and we were at a walking distance. So my brother was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay home. And I was like, well, I'm still going. So I was running there. And so then I had this bad habit of not knocking and just opening the door. And so I always got in trouble for it, because I'm just like going in, opening, and I'm like, hey, I'm here. And it's like, you're not wanted to go home. But, so what happened was that I went in, I opened the door, and I looked to my left, and my family had like these like really big couches, and they had this, those really old, big kind of like flat screen TVs, but they had like the big back to them,
Right.
Yeah.
So they were watching Dragon Ball Z. I didn't know what that was, but they were watching that. And so then I was like, whoa, like, what is that? Because it was actually the episode where I think it was Super Boo, when he was holding up Gohan, and he was about to absorb him. It was that episode. And so I was like, he was like,
it was like,
what is that? And it was actually in Japanese. It wasn't dubbed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
It was in Japanese. And so I was watching, and I was like, whoa, like, what? This is way better than like Legos and all that stuff. And I'm like, what's going on?
The Barbies,
all the Barbies, Bratz dolls. And so I was like watching with it, and I'm like, oh crap, what is this? And so then my cousin was like, oh, Leslie, come sit and watch. And I was like, what is this? And they're like, oh, Dragon Ball Z, it's an anime. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this. And so we were watching. Then later, after episodes kept going on and stuff, and they're like, we're gonna go play outside. Are you coming? And I was like, shh. No, I'm not coming. I want to see what happens in season 9, and so pretty much that's how I was introduced. It was more of a happy accident where I just forgot to knock and just opened, saw, and I was I just loved it. I adored everything of it. And then slowly after that, I started realizing that they weren't the only ones that watched anime, because it was the first time where I was like, this is something that I've never heard of. It was more of a culture shock, because I was always used to just like Spanish TV or English TV, but it wasn't something Japanese. I've never heard that language before, which is crazy, because my town was primarily Asian, Japanese people, but I've never been exposed to that language, so I felt immediately. And then I remember 2 days later, I'm still so fascinated by it. And I'm like, I need to know more, but I don't have a phone. I'm like 6.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. Little Leslie.
Little was, yeah.
Right, and I go to my cousin's house, and it's an older cousin that I had, and I go in, and I'm like, oh hey, like I'm here, can I get something to drink? Because we all live very close together,
Right.
And so I'm like, yeah, it's in the fridge, and then I go to the fridge, I come back, and I notice he's watching Cowboy Bebop, but I didn't know what that was.
Oh wow.
It's the episode. It's the last episode. You know, whenever.
Oh, no.
And so I
No.
see my cousin sitting in front of his TV with the folding chair, like, you know, like those regular like outdoor chairs, and he's watching, and he's like this, and he's like, and just like sniffing, and just like,
my god.
down, and I'm like, you good? And then I just see like, you know, the I'll see you next, like, you know, like the last
see you Space Cowboy.
see you Space Cowboy, and then once that pops up, he like turns over to me, and he's like, that's the best fucking shit I've ever seen.
He ain't wrong.
Spike.
What was that?
Is that? I'm guessing that's also anime. And he's like, how did you know? And then his eyes came up. He's like, finally somebody cultured that I
Yes.
can talk to. And I'm like, I'm sick, but okay. So, that's kind of how it all happened.
That's
Wild.
Curiosity.
That's amazing. That's my favorite. That's I just love that. You caught that man in his critical moment.
He was watching Spike, man.
That's hilarious. That's great.
That's
I love
wild.
to hear stories about how people get in. You know, for us, like the three of us on the podcast, like Kenny and I have pretty much been around anime since the day we were born. We have an older brother who's been in anime, and my dad as well, who's been in anime since long before we were. So, you know, ever since the 90s, we've had this exposure to it. I mean, to the point where like Kenny and I used to record anime on VHS tapes. You know, we used to like freaking. I used to.
Escaflowne.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get caught by the cops or nothing, but I used to torrent some anime back in the day when I had to fan subs, you know. I have like probably like a terabyte of torrented anime sitting around somewhere in my room still. Because yeah, like the only way we could watch it was through fan sub websites, and you had to use torrent clients. You had to use, you know, all this stuff to get a hold of it back then. And I could not. I don't know what it was, but even middle school me was like I couldn't watch dubbed anime. Like I immediately became like one of those snotty. I was like one of those snotty kids. Like, you know, here I am like 11 years old, and I was like, I only watch anime in Japanese. And you know, people were like, what's wrong? So like me and Kitty, you know, we'd all. Yeah. I used to bring Bleach to school with me because Bleach was like my favorite when I was a kid. I thought it was so cool, and I used to bring my Bleach manga, and I'd watch my Bleach subtitled on, you know, illegal websites. What anime? What was Kiss Anime? Like all those. You know, I used to love that stuff. And I would torrent it.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Kiss Anime. But I don't know. So it's so cool to hear people's like sort of like starting story, like where it comes from, because anime has touched. It is a medium that has impacted worldwide in ways that I don't even know if the medium understood what it was going to become when it started. You know, when you look at the 60s, the 50s, when anime first started to breach outside of Japan at all, it's so interesting to see the cultures that have built up around it, and how it has globalized our world, and how we now live in a world where we're getting access to anime from Japan within hours of it airing in Japan, and subtitled, and also simul dubs, which blow my fucking mind. I still don't know how that became a thing, but someone was like, we're gonna dub that anime so fucking fast, they're gonna get it in English tomorrow. That blows my mind. Like I think that's crazy. But the access to anime has certainly, you know, as 20-something-year-olds, it's like, I can't even imagine going back in time and having to relive. Like, the kids today have it so good if they want to get into anime. They have it so good compared to us back then. We had to stumble on our cousins watching it. You know?
Me, I'm like, I had to go at 7 o'clock. You know, they're showing it. I got to go. So
I feel like there was a period, like even I remember a little bit more now too, like in middle school or high school, where it was kind of like a taboo subject.
Oh,
wow.
Oh yeah.
Being an anime fan, like that was real. That was real.
It's like what people
I never
into back in the days, you know.
Yeah. I always talk about how like it's weird, but like the Marvel Cinematic Universe gave us the opportunity to like be nerds in public. Like Before that, I feel like before like 2009, like it was super taboo to be like into anything, especially because everyone just assumed anime was just porn. They didn't think it was. You would meet someone and they would just be like, honestly, you're just watching porn. They would just assume it was all porn. And you're like, oh no. So I don't know. I always talk about how MCU did something for anime fans. I think that it gave us an opportunity to just be. Once everyone realized that they loved, weird stuff, nerdy stuff, we were all set free. It was like we were all able to finally talk about it in public. But I don't know.
Hide it though.
Yeah, Kenny watches so much that it's just he can't.
Yeah, I put my figure away whenever girls come over. I hide it. Okay?
I don't know, David, Kenny. What do you guys think? David, Kenny. Yeah, what do you guys think, David, Kenny?
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, we talked about this before on the podcast where, like us in high school, I mean, we all went to the same high school.
Yeah.
And during school hours, I mean, unless we were just like in our tight-knit group of friends, we wouldn't talk about anime at all because there was just if you watched it or were involved with it in any way, you were a hella nerd, blah, 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 and you get shunned or whatever.
Yeah.
But now,
Shadow Realm, bro.
Yeah. But now things like My Hero, that everyone knows My Hero, everyone knows Demon Slayer. It's like it's cool now to like watch anime and to watch those shows. And if you don't watch them, it's like, what rock are you living in? Type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how like quick it's flipped.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't. Oh, go Leslie.
Sorry, go.
No, you go.
Oh no. I was gonna say, I remember, I always tried to use anime as a way to make friends in like intermediate school, and I think one time, I was always also the girl that had the Hatsune Miku crossbody, filled with like manga and like 2 pencils and then no homework because it couldn't fit with my mom there, right? So I remember one time I actually tried to like make a friend at that point because it was really hard because all you want to do is kind of be by yourself, watch anime. You don't really want to, talk to people that you kind of feel wouldn't be into it because that was just the time, So I remember talking to this girl next to me in class, and I'm like, she's just like drawing and, doing all this. And, for some reason I connected anime and drawing when she was drawing like SpongeBob. And I was like, oh, maybe, so I gave it a shot and I was like, so do you like, like stuff like anime? And I was like, you like Hatsune Miku? And I remember pulling up my crossbody. And then she was like, no, I don't.
You're like,
And then she was like, I do. And I was like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, but you should, have you heard like, what a Vocaloid is? Like this and that. She was like,
yeah.
Go to the restroom now. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, you go do that. And I just kind of sit and I'm like, yeah, I'm not talking about
She said,
this
I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out. And I was like, yeah, I think I might too.
Yeah. And how weird is it that now, like, Hatsune Miku has performed on, like, late night television in America?
Yeah.
The girl is like, she's probably freaking out right now. She's probably the #1 fan of Hatsune Miku. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not into it. Me, I was your girl.
It was me.
It was me, Dio. No. That's awesome.
Wait, have you guys watched JoJo's? We also have to ask.
Yeah, I
have
must
you
say.
guys seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure at all?
I still have not gotten back into it. I'm still stuck on season 1, episode 5.
What?
Oh no!
I mean, I've seen some clips, but I haven't, gone into it. I'm just too busy rewatching Fate.
Right?
Oh, hush.
Of course.
I'm too busy.
Rewatching.
No, and she's serious.
Yeah.
Like, we're just talking about Vampire Night. I haven't seen either,
Mm-hmm.
but every time Leslie rewatches Vampire Night, I'm either playing a game, like I'm playing Battlefront 2 on my PS4 or something, and then she's watching Vampire Night. I turn to the right, like 4 hours later.
Oh my lord!
Same thing. She's still on. I'm like, what? You're again Vampire
I'm like,
Night?
I have to rewind. I missed what he said.
The next day, always rewatching animes that she's seen already. And
Jesus.
You can't help it. It just sticks to you. Okay?
Yeah. You're like, I like what I like.
dedication.
I like what I like, and I don't need any more. I don't need. I'm all. Yeah.
I like what I like.
Yeah. You're like, JoJo's? Don't need it. Well, you guys should both watch JoJo's eventually if you get the time.
Yeah.
It is certainly. it is a show that is I don't know how best to put it, but we did a whole other podcast, almost 2 hours, talking about the relevance, the history, the importance. It is a show that is just one of those things that I think has such cultural depth that it's really impressive. So give it a shot. Give it another chance. A lot of people do give up, honestly, in the early parts of it. Because it can be a little slow in the first arc, the first 10 episodes.
The earlier parts are its weakest, but every part just gets better and better.
It gets better and better and better and better as you continue to watch.
Yeah, you guys would enjoy it, I think.
If I may add, I know I've been talking a lot, but if I may add, I actually, I think that the JoJo story is actually really, really good. And I love the complexity of it. You have to watch, and you have to watch with the intent of understanding what you're watching. So I love that anime where it's not just what it seems. There's much more than that. It's not just big muscular guys fighting each other. There's something going on, and it's deeper than what you think it is. So I always like that, and I feel JoJo's has that, because even
it does.
I think one time I tried to research like the family tree, because there were just so many characters that correlate to each other, and I was like, I want to understand. And so I was just like researching it, and I was like, wow, like this is bigger than a meme, This is more important and relevant to the anime community these days. So to me, I was like, wow. I mean, and I read the story too, and I was watching some clips, and I was like, wow, it's a pretty powerful anime story wise.
JoJo lore is
you will love it. It's again, especially in part 4, part 5, the story becomes more and more integral to the way the show moves, and you start to realize, like, oh yeah, this is a world that Araki has built that is it's massive, it's immense. There's tons of little things that have existed within it, and he often also forgets some of the things that he creates.
He forgets.
He has a terrible habit.
He loves to forget,
his world is so big, unlike Oda, who is like, Oda's the mastermind of like a world that is super concise and precise. He never forgets when he did something and why he did it, and you see him bring it back up. 800 chat. Yes, we praise Goda. Goda Sensei. No, for me, it's like Oda is the master of being able to integrate story into character. Just beautifully done. Okay. I have another question for you two, and I'm curious about this, because this is a person. It's one that I've been thinking about, and I was like, I got to ask them while they're on the podcast. So, Henry, when you started the channel, your YouTube channel, Nakama Collectibles, right? And it's been called that since the beginning, if I remember correctly, right? Or something of that. If not, I want to hear it clearly. To me, you had an intent to go into anime-based content with that name. But also, how did you end up in this version of the channel that now is sort of both of you together? Because in the beginning, Leslie was not as involved in it, to my understanding, right? At least from when I used to watch. I don't know if she was behind the camera. But how did we get to where it is now? And because you guys make just anime. I mean, it's pretty much become 100% content based on anime. It is collectibles based, anime collectibles, but you guys have sort of moved into this zone of like being an anime focused collectibles channel. How did it get there? How does that a thing? Because you guys are content creators as well, and that's important to me. I want to hear, the anime content world is really weird, in my opinion. It has lots of little silos, whether you're a manga creator, whether you talk about manga, whether you make video essays, whether you make commentary videos. There's kind of different silos within the anime community on YouTube and in the world. So I'm curious, how did you guys get there? How did we end up as Nakama Collectibles as it is today?
So it's funny you asked that, but the channel wasn't called Nakama Collectibles from the beginning. So in the beginning, my channel was called Da Leva. It was a gaming channel. So if you go back to like the beginning of the channel and see the oldest videos, it's me playing games. And don't go back and because I'm terrible.
I have to. We all have to go do that now. We have to.
Just go ahead and say that. So yeah, but
were they like Let's Plays? Were they like Let's Plays or like reviews or
walkthroughs? I played
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh yeah, I was even playing Doki Doki at
one. That's golden content.
That's gold.
Whatever I had for the PlayStation, or like whatever system I was playing on, even on PC, I was playing Far Cry. I've played Call of Duty on there. You'll find Star Wars Battlefront 2 videos on there.
Oh wow.
Pain. But got to a point. I still remember back in 2018. I think it was my channel wasn't yet like a year old. Was about to be a year old, and then 2018 came by. SDCC Funko Pops came into my life. So me, Funko Pops, I don't hate them or anything like that. Even though I did like Funko Pops.
Yeah, he quit. Boys, he quit. He's out.
Out of the game, bro.
I think the switch was, you know, from a gaming channel to like a collectibles channel. You know, and so Funko Pops kind of came in. And I started collecting lots and lots of Funko Pops. All the Funko Pop videos started in the channel, and I really went hard in it. And then eventually, Leslie, I don't know what point, we got into Fate, and she started introducing me to the Fate series, and I completely fell in love with it. And then I found out that, you know, there's scale figures out there. There's some really awesome figures of some of the Fate characters that I love, especially, you know, when it comes to the waifus and stuff like that. So yeah, it's, you know, kind of, that's a little bit of a time span. So it started as a gaming channel. It was called Da Leva, which was it's kind of just a mix of my last name and I don't know, just a mix of my last name.
It was just
when eventually, like in the middle of, you know, collecting Funko Pops, I switched it to Nakama Collectibles, and they're on. Well, it's been known as Nakama Collectibles,
right?
Much.
And it's kind of crazy the way it started because, you know, he just kind of out of nowhere told me, like, I really, you know, want to make a YouTube channel and I want to, you know, do something that I like and just, you know, put it up and, you know, just for me to watch. It was never meant to be something like it is now. I mean, not that we're big, but, you know, we have a small audience and, you know, we care about that audience that watches us faithfully. So, you know, it started as that gaming channel. And I remember, like, how are we going to do this? Because even though it's a channel, I don't think people that don't have a YouTube don't understand that, you know, it takes work to put up a banner. It takes work to do all of that, especially because YouTube is the settings, it's kind of wonky. So you have to, you know, kind of research it a bit.
It's so annoying.
And so the way I told him, I was like, well, you know, I mean, I took like a semester of graphic design. So I was like, I could just make your banner and, you know, your little logo, like your icon. And then, you know, we can take it from there and you can just, you know, start cranking out Let's Plays because that's what he wanted to do at the time. And so, you know, kind of grew from that, doing Let's Plays. And it like he said, it transitioned into Funko Pops. You know, he said, you know, we went to GameStop, saw Funko Pops, and he was like, I really want to get some. He got them, and it kind of turned into a thing.
I think the reason why Funko Pops is because I saw how many different licenses they had.
Yeah.
All the different animes that you could get that, you know, were Funko Pop characters. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get addicted to this pretty quickly.
Especially because it was affordable too, and it's something you can.
The buy-in is not that high for Funko Pop, so I was like,
anime figures are like sometimes very expensive, and you're like, okay, maybe I don't want that one, but Funkos are like $12. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's such an easy buy.
Right. And then after like Funko Pops, you know, it just started growing more, and I was always behind the scenes, you know, just helping him and stuff. And then, you know, I kind of, you know, I guess I just felt like, oh, let me be in a video. Or he would tell me, hey, just be in a video with me. It'll be fun for us. And so I was like, okay. And it kind of just started like, you know, small videos where I was in it. And then, you know, just it kind of went more into anime as soon as I was like, wait, we can do something with this. Like, let's actually put in some anime in it. Because I told him the only way I'm going to be reoccurring is if there's anime. I remember telling him, like, I'm not going to be in it to talk about Funko Pops, Harry Potter. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be in it if it's an anime pop. So, you know, I think the first, you know, he did the anime top 10 and then One Piece wave and then My Hero wave. And those waves started coming out. I wasn't in all of them, but I was in some of them. Yeah. You know, I just felt like, hey, like, I really like this.
Sort of sneak it in.
Right. My thing is, like, I'm not going to be in it if I don't like, you know, what I guess personal interest. If that's not what I'm into, I don't want to be that sore thumb there, just kind of like, yeah, it's pretty, or it's cute. So, like, I don't like that. If I'm going to talk about it, you're going to hear all of it. You're going to hear it passionately.
Right.
So that's kind of how we started getting in it. And then I told him, I was like, have you seen Fate, my guy? And then he was like, I don't know what that is. And I remember just like on Netflix, and I was like, oh, you should probably watch this. Kind of like, you know, like hinting it. And he was like unbothered reading like One Piece. Because I was like, you know, let's get you into it. And so he started watching it religiously. Like, we were just binging it. I was like on my 4th binge already.
Oh my Jesus.
he started liking it even more like I did, and then we were like, hey, let's actually incorporate this into the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And that was during the time where he said, let's just kind of stop with Funko Pops, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a decision that was kind of subtly made already before that video. It was a conversation way before the making of that video. It wasn't something like, hey, I just want to do it, stop. No, because it takes time. You dedicate yourself to collecting a certain item, and then you're just like, I don't want to give it up like that. Like if you were to tell me, hey Leslie, stop collecting fake figures, stop collecting all of this, that's not an easy decision, because that's what I've invested my time, money, and everything.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna happen.
And they're so cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How can you get rid of them? They're so cool.
Like, come on, she looks hot. She looks
Look.
cute. So,
Come on.
like it's not gonna happen, and that's kind of how Nakama Collectibles is. And we sat together and we're like, okay, let's make a good banner, let's make some characters, let's actually put something into this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where our banner came out and everything. So it was a process to get it where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because honestly, if it wasn't for Funko Pops, I think it wouldn't have given us the creative kind of push to really do something with anime. And I think people don't give Funko Pops credit because it's so easy to collect, and it has a lot of what you like. I mean, you can doubt it all you want, but it has something you like. So when you have it, it's like, I want to keep going more. And so definitely Funko Pops really shaped Nakama Collectibles to what it is now, an open collectible channel dedicated to Fate, and other things, through time. But Nakama Collectibles has gone a long way. And actually the name Nakama Collectibles came from One Piece. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
For us, we know. We know.
That one,
I saw it. I was like, oh, they must like One Piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, because if you remember, I back in the day with the fan subtitles, I remember there was this huge controversy about it because some fan subtitlers used to want to subtitle Nakama as just friend or crewmate, and then there was like one fan subtitle group, they called themselves Nakama Subtitles or some fan subs, something like that, and they would never. They always left the word Nakama in the subtitles, so like they would never translate it because they felt like the word was too powerful that there wasn't an English equivalent. And so it's one of those things that like if you were a part of the One Piece community during that thing, like that word just means like so much. You're like that's my fucking Nakama, damn it. It's like that's my, like that is bigger than a friend. So that's really cool, the history there. Do you guys think you guys will ever get out of collectibles? Like instead of, not all the way, but do you think you'll ever produce content that's like in another zone outside of collectibles, like more anime focused?
Don't get mad real quick. I'll take a quick restroom break.
I'll get my ass.
Leslie can talk to us. Yeah, go do your thing, Henry. Leslie can talk to us while we're going.
I got a pee.
Do you think you guys will ever dip into that, Leslie, or is that something you guys have talked about?
But with that question, I don't think we'll ever, and I'm just going to speak this for me, because I know Henry has his own, opinions and views, but I think we'd agree on it. But I wouldn't ever stop collecting. Collecting has always been a part of me, whether it was Barbies, dolls, Blu-rays. There was a point where I was trying to collect like every piece of media of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh jeez.
That's an undertaking.
I'm gonna admit something really bad, but I'll do it. I don't care. I actually was so into Dragon Ball and everything that I actually went to Walmart and I stole everything Dragon Ball Z with it.
You said
I gotta have it. That's crazy.
I stole the complete seasons 1 through 9 DVD sets of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh man!
This girl said I had to have it.
I'm not lying.
You're a ninja.
Yeah.
That's how I was like Henry said, when I collect something I love, like I go really hard in it.
Right.
And so I'm ashamed to say that, but when you have no money and you're into it, I mean, people will do
also,
what they have to do.
Tough times.
Walmart's a corporate entity, and we.
Yeah, Walmart's whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, actually, we were gonna throw that out, so you could just take it.
Yeah, exactly.
But collecting's always been a big part of me, and so with Faye, I wouldn't ever be able to let it go.
Right.
It's just hard. You connect with these characters. You connect. I mean, it might be just PVC, it might be just plastic to somebody that doesn't understand, but it's much more than that. It's like it's part of you. And that's what I think about our collection. It's just
That's
part
awesome.
of us.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way sometimes, Leslie. When I sit in my room in my office that I have, I worked hours to put this together and to make this office look like this, and like this is my this is just big. You can't give that up. But I don't know. I would love to see you guys do like I don't know, like anime essays or something like that. I don't know, like you guys. I would love to see you dip your toes into the AniTuber world, right? And I think that's something that I've been trying to do as well because, I also kind of got my creative start with Funko Pops, but in reality, I'm much more passionate about anime and about other things outside of that. So I have been trying to refocus and find, that's how David and Kenny and I got this idea to do this podcast was because I wasn't, we didn't have an outlet to talk to anyone about anime. And so we were like, well, what if we just talk to each other for a couple hours a week and we just get going? And, now we've been doing this for over 3 months. And it has been a big blessing for us because we finally have been able to sort of put some energy into the thing that we were already putting a lot of time into, right? We were already watching anime constantly, but now we were actually able to put some creative energy behind it. And I think that that's been such a weird thing. It's weird to say that, like, I don't think I would have ever tried this if I had never discovered Funko Pops. It's weird to say that because I was into anime way before I was into Funko Pops. But it's weird to think that is what gave me the creative energy and the drive to say, okay, maybe I can do this, right? Maybe I can do something in the AniTuber type of realm. I've got the skills and the ability, and now I know how to do it because I practiced with Pops. So it's like, that's really weird to talk about. Like, it's weird to think, like, thanks, Pops. Yeah.
People don't want to admit that.
Yeah.
Right? People don't want to admit that, hey, Funko Pops kind of gave me my start. I mean, yeah, you had your interest before that, but just it was Funko Pops that really kind of propelled, your creativity to show, via YouTube or via, whatever media source you have. So yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And so, now to my question, who's best girl and why is it Ren?
Jesus Christ.
Why is it Ren? Because it has to be.
No,
okay.
Yeah, wait, that's a great question. Who's best girl? Who's best girl? Who's best girl?
Best girl.
No, best girl. Best girl overall. What about that? Can he just best girl overall?
Ren.
Best.
Still Ren.
I know.
Oh, Lucina.
I know for.
What do you mean? Lucina is best girl.
Henry, Leslie, do you guys have best girl? Who's your best? The one that you.
Who's your best girl?
We're talking about Fate. I think for me, I've always had Sakura. I love
Yes.
Look, Tim.
That's my favorite too. I love
Sakura.
her.
I love her, but I've been really slow when it comes to playing FGO, the mobile game, and I've been really falling in love with John. Something about John.
Oh yeah.
Kenny's like, I know that person.
Yeah.
Me and David are like,
I'm.
Oh, okay.
She's beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful. But yeah, I think best girl overall for me would probably still be Sakura.
Oh wow.
I do love John. Look, here's the thing. It's so hard to choose when it comes to Fate because every girl's best girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, except I'm tired of all the Saber. Okay, I'm tired of it. I love Saber, but Ren is best girl. Okay, I would always be Unlimited Blade Works. Okay, you are the bone of my sword.
Oh my.
All right,
It's speaking to me right now.
There's something. I'll say that much. Yes, I mean.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of legwork. I'll just say that.
Also, I'm into the Tsundere type too. Like that's often my best.
I mean, to be honest, with I agree with everything. There's just so many girls, and I love Saber.
Yeah,
but I will say this. I don't think I've ever said this because Reddit is crazy and internet is crazy, but Saber, I cannot see her in a sexual role. Like in a, it's weird. I can't see her sexualized. I can't. I hate whenever people loot her because Saber is not meant for that. Saber is just a very righteous, very strong, powerful.
Yeah.
I just can't see past that armor. I can't,
Yes.
and I actually love her for that. But she's not best girl, not because of that, but just because she's not wife material. Okay.
Yeah.
She relies on Shadow.
Yes.
But she's just not it in that aspect. But waifu, I will agree. That it is Reen. I love Reen.
Look, Kenny.
she's number one, and I love Sakura too, but there's just something about Rin, and it goes past her looks. See, I'm diving in too deep right now, but
It goes past her looks.
It's more about, you know, the person that she is and all the hardship that she's had, especially if you've played the visual novel, or if you know the visual novel, then you know that Rin is completely different from what you see on screen, you know, through the anime. So to me, you know, Rin is just somebody very important, and somebody that without, you know, she's not in the story, there is no story in a way, because Rin was just that much of a great supporting character. And Rin is she's very smart, she's very intelligent, and without her, you can't make it happen. Like I'm gonna compare it in a way, but you know, I hate Harry Potter, but she was somewhat like Hermione. She was just a very integral part, you know, to the team, to that anime. So you know, with Rin, she's just, and then what happened to her, I don't want to spoil nothing if y'all haven't seen it, but
yeah, there's one big spoiler that like I want to talk about, because
well,
what makes
David and I want to watch it, so we're gonna commit after this. So we can say spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
This was a good. Oh.
Yeah, but Rin, to finish it off, Rin is definitely, you know, just somebody that I admire and I love. And she goes beyond Sakura. She goes beyond everybody. She's so brave, and you know, it's something about her that you can't compete with her. You really can't, and she knows you can't. She knows you have nothing against her. Like, even if you watch like the parody anime Carnival Phantasm, which is, I recommend it. It's amazing if you've seen Tsukihime and Fate. But with that, even there, she's so cutthroat, and they make her character so good. It's amazing. I'm gonna stop now, but Rin is definitely number one. She's best waifu.
I mean, when it comes to Saber, we can't forget about Alter Saber also.
Ooh, Alter Saber.
Because I know Saber has been overdone so many times, right?
Yeah.
What are there, like 15 Sabers at this point or something? I don't know.
There's Saber Lily, Mysterious Heroine Egg.
Yes.
Mysterious Heroine Egg, yeah.
I love the ball.
Berserker, everything.
Oh my gosh.
And anytime I think about the ships in that show, for me, I don't ever see Saber with Emiya. I see him with his father more so than I do with him. You know, that's why I always have been into the Rin Emiya all the way. Okay.
It's weird because whenever I think of Saber, I think of her with Iris Veil. I don't know why. It just, the way they shot some scenes, I was like, whoa, if this happens, I'm down. Like, it's just so good. She's just so dapper. She's so like handsome, charming. I'm like, wow, like, Saber, can you open the door for me? I want some of that chivalry. It's just great. Like, it was great. She's so great.
Okay.
And now, what do you got, Jerry?
No, Kenny, go. I'm gonna switch subjects.
Who's like your favorite myth? Because like I'm obviously really into Gilgamesh. I'm really into Enkidu. I love him in the extra story. I love there's a ton of, who's like your favorite mythic hero sort of realized in the show, or in any
of the
media.
Fate universe? Yeah.
That's actually.
They said.
I'm rubbing my chin. I'm like,
Yeah, I love Gilgamesh, King of Kings. I love Hercules. I'm a huge Hercules fan in general, and so Hercules is always a big one.
Yeah, his class is perfect too. Berserker and Hercules.
Oh yeah.
And his fight scenes are amazing in the anime as well.
I think for me, I would always have to go back, and I don't like saying the word cliche, even though it is. It'll have to be Gilgamesh for me, because I just love everything about his character. And again, for me, it always goes past the looks. Like, yes, he's your average, like, handsome anime male character. You know, it's just that's what he is. But just, you know, the way he's written in Fate, and even if you watch like 2006, wow, like the way he's written and the way that, you know, he's realized as that kind of like interpretation of Gilgamesh is just so spot on. Like, if you read the mythology and you read, well, not mythology, but if you read kind of like the real backstory of Gilgamesh, it's like on par. And the way that it was realized in Japanese animation is amazing. And just in Fate, Gilgamesh is just one of those untouchable characters, even though he is touchable.
Yeah.
Just by his presence, you'll feel like, but you can get close to him. You know, you just gotta be that right person that you're able to counter everything, including his back talk and moving on with combat. But Gilgamesh is just the way he was talking to a certain character in Fate Zero was some of the best dialogue I have seen in anime.
Wow.
It's just the best dialogue. Fate Zero has one of the best dialogue, and I say that because I am 100% biased. I love it. I love it.
Is Fate Zero a movie or is it a show? I'm like, which one is that?
Fate Zero is the prequel TV show.
The prequel TV.
Light novel turned anime adaptation by UFO Table.
Light novel turned anime by UFO Table. Okay, and it predates Fate Stay Night. It's before that. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, I was like, I think I know the timeline, give or take.
Well, there are multiple timelines, and
yeah, that's why I'm like, there's so many. This is a lot. Okay, so here's what I want to get into. So now we should definitely get into what I really wanted to talk about today, and that is, there's this question that I always get from anime fans, and that's why in the hell should I try to commit to something like Fate when it's this confusing and this convoluted, and they're like, the story just seems crazy. Like they're like, there's too much to watch. I don't know where to start. All these questions. So the thought is, in Kenny as well, I want to hear Kenny's thoughts as well. Why should I be watching? It's 2020. This series dates all the way back to what, like 2004 or something, when the first visual novel came out, something like that. Yeah. So, this series has been around for 16 years, which is a long ass time for a show to still be producing new content. Why it's 2020? Why should I be a fan of the Fate series? That's the question. I wanted to just throw that out there to both Henry and Leslie and Kenny, because Kenny is also a fan. Why? Like, why? Why should I jump in now? Like, what's the reason, right?
Well,
it's very simple.
Yeah, I can go ahead and start and just
say,
Kenny. I think that more so now than ever, Fate media is being translated in a way that is more digestible. The fact that you don't have to go very far to find Unlimited Blade Works, and the Heaven's Feel route is now coming out, and it's you have 2 Netflix shows that Netflix personally licensed whenever they came over. So it's a lot.
Which ones are on Netflix? Do you remember?
Apocrypha and
Last Encore.
Oh, Leslie knows. That's cool though. I didn't know they had any on Netflix.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, because the media is so diverse, there are visual novels, there are video games, there's the phone game, obviously Grand Order. There's there's the original anime. There's the newer anime by UFO Table. There's all kinds of different media. It's now a lot easier to get to that. And it seems like there's a lot of information that you need whenever you start watching Fate, but that's really not the case. Just start watching it. It's it explains itself a lot of the times in each of its shows. Like, I would say just start with Unlimited Blade Works. And then if you really like that, go ahead and watch Fate Zero, because Zero is the prequel. And then after that, you can then start to explore sort of other Fate options, because then it becomes a little less clear, but still fun, interesting stories with new servants. And obviously, I think one of the coolest parts of Fate altogether is the servants. The servants are so cool, and the way they do them, the way they do their special powers and phantasms, all of that is so interesting. From somebody who likes, I like a lot of mythology, I like a lot of that stuff, and to see that translated into anime is really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Right, so what you're saying, Kenny, is now that access is there, because I remember back in 2007 or whatever, when the first Fate Stay Night came out, I think I torrented it, and that's how I watched it, and it was difficult to get a hold of. I don't even remember how I ended up finding it. And I watched, and I just remember thinking, I can't even get my hands on, I didn't even know it was from I think back then I just thought it was an anime. I didn't even realize it was a visual novel, or that there was any predating information. So I like that concept of, now that it's available, you should watch it. Now that you can, you should. I don't know. What do you guys think? Why should an anime fan, jump into something like the Fate series, which is such a sprawling, mess is the word I want to use.
Guys, let us not forget it's all about the waifus. Okay? It's all about the waifu.
Henry is a man of culture, damn it. No.
And I don't care what
Him
the
has
anime
done,
was about. I was gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Saw Ren and was like, I'm in. That's all I need.
But I mean, besides that,
Right.
no. At the end of the day, I definitely agree with most of Kenny's points. Almost everything that he said, especially when it comes to. I love how they add the mythology, and characters that we have heard about in history and stuff like that, and how they interpret them through this, anime and also the visual novel and the game that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Besides that, if it comes also to the story of Fate, I think really captures you. And Leslie was just talking about also, there's some animes that you gotta focus on, like you actually gotta sit there and focus on what they're talking about because it's just that important, and you get so into it that it's just one of those animes. I feel like JoJo is probably something like that too.
Right.
Where if you focus on the story and you focus on what the anime really is about, you're gonna fall in love with it. And everything the world revolves around, the entire anime. Same thing with One Piece, Same thing with One Piece. Like the world building that Oda does in One Piece is masterful. Like it's God tier.
Yes.
It really. And when it comes to Fate, it's just like that too. It's such a huge, enormous world, but you fall in love with it very quickly because of the characters, and how there is character development and stuff like that. For me personally, when I started watching the Fate series, though, I kind of did go in chronological order because we were trying to figure out a way to watch it and stuff like that. I would say probably, maybe for new people that are coming in, probably start with Stay Night, the 2006 Studio Dean version.
I agree.
Just so you can this is the first thing that came out anime-wise with Fate. Go ahead and watch that, dip your feet that way, into the Fate series.
And let me understand, right? Because Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Stay Night are technically the same story, but like a different pathway or something like that, right? Okay, yeah. So you could technically start with Blade Works.
Yeah. So what you need to understand also, yes, you need to dive into the anime, but I feel like that. I don't want to counter any arguments or anything or any discussions, but to me, it's very important because we're in a different time right now where. You can't just watch anime, but I like to do my research first. Like I like to look into it. Like it was a different time back then. Now, like we all agree that there's more accessibility to information, to media, and I like to go into an anime knowing what I'm about to go in and watch, especially if I know that it's one of those animes that you can get confused and lost. That's just my mindset. But I do agree that, Fate 2006 is something that a lot of people forget about. And they forget that was just the first work that Takeuchi illustrator or that Nasu created, and that's the illustrator and the creator of Fate. So, it's just very important, 2006. And I agree with Henry as well that you need to watch Fate because it's just getting bigger. You want to catch it now. That it's very accessible. Everything's accessible. You want to catch it now before it gets too big to the point where it becomes this universe that it'll be hard to really dive into it. And I think that's kind of like Pokemon. Like with with there's a point where you want to start now before it transcends into something huge. And that's what's happening with Fate. And it's very important to watch. Why? Because it isn't just a dumb anime. Like it's not just a simple watch. You're gonna learn about characters. You're gonna imagine epic heroes that you never ever really seen animated or in a show. Like you've seen Hercules, but you haven't seen this version. You've seen Arthur Pendragon, but you haven't seen his gender bender version. And the way that she is. So it's kind of like the way that you would see Arthur Pendragon, but in a female way, and in a way where it's more, you see kind of like that righteousness from what is expected in a king. And it goes far beyond that with Hercules. You've seen, it just Alexander the Great, like all of these characters that are turned into anime form, and what could be greater, Medusa, just so much that happens. And it's just very important to watch because Fate has shaped the anime community.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of new watchers have been in, and I know it gets confusing, and I know it's a big timeline. But if you go in it with a good mindset that like I'm gonna get into this because it has a lot of aspects that are important, and I just think that I mean, I see a lot of memes about, you know, in history class, and it's like, we're going to talk about Arthur Pendragon, we're going to talk about all this, Hercules, and then the Fate fan in the back, like, yes, then they start the opening and everything, and they're like, I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's very important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. Question. Yeah, David.
So of the Fate content that's out there, because I don't know, I've done like a little bit of research, but I haven't done a whole lot to know like if there are, you know, how like X number of visual novels that are out there, right? So is there Fate content that has been animated yet that they can?
Yeah, I was curious
like,
about that too.
Is there anything like after the third Heaven's Feel movie comes out, can they animate more?
Yeah, like
or
what comes
like
next?
Really it?
Yeah, so they have a lot of unanimated content, and the reason I think that they haven't animated it because I've done deep, you know, researching.
You guys are the deep, y'all are the.
This is your life,
And so, you know, there has been a lot of things that haven't been animated because I just, you know, I've seen other people's opinions, other dedicated Fate fans, where they can agree it's just something that's not going to appeal to the general when it comes to Fate.
Interesting.
You know, it's a very niche and very how can I say it's a strange fandom where I think of it kind of like the Star Wars fandom where it's very separated in a way where some people have like, you know, a certain liking and you know that it's very like that.
Like very particular.
Yeah, but we all agree on the same thing. But for example, there's a Strange Fate prototype. A lot of things that haven't been animated.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to it feels like it's not gonna pop off like Fate Stay Night or like Blade. It has the same kind of depth and it has everything the same, but it's not what you would want to watch because it's completely different. You know what I mean? It's like an alternate universe. And it'll be harder, I feel, because you have to understand. You have to basically watch everything Type Moon has released to understand those two unanimated series.
Interesting.
That's the thing that's very unappealing is having to watch everything.
Yeah.
It all correlates, even though it's not all canon to the main visual novel 3 route story for Sakura Rin, but it's still integral to what you would watch on those two that haven't been animated.
Right.
You know? Yeah, definitely.
Jeez.
And that makes sense.
That's cool. That's so cool. So do you is there any knowledge of what they're going to work on after this third movie? Have they announced what comes next yet? Or, I mean,
they're starting to dive into because that's the thing. They can really go, I feel they can take it anywhere at the same time because you got all these characters with historic, you know, attributes and stuff like that, right? Like they lived a life. You know, so there's a story to tell right there. You know, pretty much going back in time and telling the story of the characters we've seen so far. Like Saber,
like origin stories,
And Knights at the Round Table. You know, they're about to tell that story into anime form as well. So
Bedivere and all that.
Yeah, so that's also coming.
It's coming soon. I think that's also been delayed. But again, that story with that movie, see, I would recommend and have to play the game because that movie coincides with the game. It's a period in the game. Same thing with Absolute Demonic from Babylonia, which is where these 3 characters are from. You know, it's based off the game.
Right.
So you would play the game, the mobile game first, you know, to really understand that anime. Because if you don't play it, I mean, you can still watch it without the play knowledge, but it adds to it. It adds the flavor, you know what I mean, to what you're seeing. So it's definitely something important, but at the same time, you know, you really don't have to. It's up to you if you want to move forward with that.
Right.
But they do a lot with Fate.
If people just want to get into the anime, I think they can just do that too. There's enough content out there for Fate
to understand it really without
you can just be the anime fan of Fate and fall in love with the series.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And, that's how good it is. Yeah.
Is there only one, like the OG game is like the only, like have they made more games other than the game in the Fate Grand Order on the phone?
Yeah.
What other games?
There's the PSP game.
We actually, of course, we all know about Fate Extella Link, Fate Umbral Star. These are 2 games that you can play. You know, your average games.
Those look dope.
Are those both visual novels?
No, these are actually hack and slash.
Oh
so
wow,
they
okay.
have-
Oh.
Like, yeah.
There's different stories because there's different characters. So
Yeah.
that's the thing about Fate also. Like once you start getting into, some of the other stuff, you are gonna be
Oh, that's
drenched with characters, and
Right.
it's so hard to pick the top waifu.
And so also, with those two games, that's part of like Fate Extra, Fate Season.
Right.
Again, they're just game. That's a whole
Yeah.
other universe when it comes to the
It's
Fate game world.
Different stories.
Jeez.
Like even this right here, this was for PlayStation 2. I'm a big collector.
Of the games. No, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
so are those original stories or are those based off of like anime or visual novels?
Mhm.
So this is actually Fate Tiger Coliseum, which is just those like little playing games where like the hack and slash.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Oh yeah.
no story to this. Is just comedy and all that. I mean, you see all the characters like the
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
And then like Carnival Phantasm.
Right. Oh
The
my
anime
God.
that they did, this little side anime for
So this
Mm.
this is the original
That's the
Fate
novel.
Stay visual novel.
Fate. Yeah.
Oh wow.
This is it.
That
This
looks
is the original
dope.
one. Yeah, so
That's
you
crazy.
can see.
It's crazy.
That was like
Violence.
released on the. That was like released
That
on the.
looks so cool.
It's like a computer disc. Is that what that is? Like a.
Yeah.
right now. But it's like,
That's That's so weird.
Prize.
This is our prize
Our
possession
prized
right there.
possession.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
I would have never even imagined.
Classic.
It's so weird to see like an old. Like I forgot they even sold computer games like physically. Like because you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
The play manual.
Oh, that's crazy.
See Tycoon right here.
I love that.
The character design is amazing. Oh my god, look at that.
Yes, very.
Classic.
Yeah, that's the style that. Yeah, when I think of Fate, like that's the style I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Mhm.
I actually made a parody of it because this character right here,
Mhm.
her name is Taiga Fujimaru,
Mhm.
and she's
Yeah.
not that calm. She's the craziest person in
Yes.
Fate, and so the fact that she's in a calm stance
Fuji
is
Sensei.
hilarious to me.
That's wild.
But-
That's so
but you-
cool.
So this game right here, the Fate Stay Night visual novel, they made this version of it PlayStation 2. Now, it's
Okay, so
not
that's a
just
port. It's the same
Yeah,
game.
so-
hmm
No, it's
Oh.
different. So what people don't know about this game, and this one in a bit.
Yeah.
This game is actually an eroge. It's an erotic
Oh,
novel. So
Oh.
it's an adult.
dab
visual
on him.
novel.
Yeah.
It's not a child now. It's not like any
Jerry
for somebody
Dog.
that's like 18 years younger, according to that. But it's
Oh,
just
yes.
it's not. It's an erotic visual novel. It's an eroge. And
Oh,
so what they
geez.
did,
Okay.
they noticed that this was going off and it was getting really popular. That they said, okay, wait, we don't want like minors playing this and seeing the.
I didn't know.
hero sex scenes and et cetera,
Yeah,
et cetera.
I was about
So-
to say one of the reasons I really love Heaven's Feel, and I'm really excited about it. But if you read the Heaven's Feel manga, because we have the Japanese
Oh.
Heaven's Feel manga,
Okay.
ooh, it gets
It gets
spicy.
steamy, guys.
It's
Spicy.
steamy. It's steamy. Uh
I
oh.
get into this. Hold on.
Everything.
She said, okay, now I'm really interested.
I mean, close off.
It gets there, yeah.
I thought it was always an
Wow.
action-oriented show. I didn't realize there was ever any like romance.
No, bro.
I didn't know that.
Me neither. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's there. And so, see, the reason that they made
Wow.
this is the PG version. So this is Nua. So this is like the censored version of it. So if you don't want nothing steamy, then you play this for the PS2. But again,
I don't know why you would want that.
if you
Yeah.
don't own a Japanese console, then you can't play it. But it's
Yeah.
for collector purposes. That's what I
Yes.
tell myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
okay.
And so then
Pretty much.
finally, like after that, we get the sequel to the Fate Stay Night visual novel, which is Fate Hollow Ataraxia.
Oh, okay. So there is a full-blown sequel. I didn't know that. Okay.
There's a sequel,
Okay.
and so you see it right here, kind of like the art.
The artwork's so cool.
Does that have an anime? Hollow Interact? Is there an anime?
I have an anime. This
Oh.
actually happens, I think, a year or 2 years after the events of the Fate Stay Night visual novel.
Interesting.
Okay.
Right after, and if you watch, there's an anime also. We forget it, but it's one of our favorite Fate, adaptation, and it's Prisma Ilia.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's literally like our favorite. It's so good,
Right.
and they actually introduce her character. So you see her there, Bazette. So you see her there.
Yeah, we
so it's
see her.
really great.
So
how
that
they
character is in that anime, but they never did her anime. So if you were just an anime watcher, you would have no idea who this person is, or it's like
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Basically-
That's the thing about
basically.
Fate, because if you get out of what I guess you can call canon, right?
Yeah.
You get out of Stay Night, get out of what you've seen on Zero, then you have Prisma Elia.
Yeah.
You know, where it focuses. It's actually a completely different story,
Yeah.
right.
but it has the same characters that you see in Stay Night and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But they're all telling different stories, and it's just a little tweaks. You know, like Prisma Elia has I guess you can call it like a Sailor Moon type
A
of
magical
feeling.
girl, shoujo
Oh.
maho type of vibe.
That's what Prisma Elia is.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then you have Carnival Phantasm, which is,
Just the
if you're a Fate fan, I would say leave Carnival Phantasm probably last,
It's
because
like-
once you understand all the tropes and all the thing about Fate, it is so funny to watch
it's
Carnival
the dessert
Phantasm.
of Fate. Like
Yeah.
for
Okay,
any
okay.
Fate store, it's like your dessert.
It's
I
all the
assume it's-
goofy cats and
Is
the
it's
laughs.
comedy
It is-
based then, right? It's more of the
Not also Fate. I'm sorry. Carnival Phantasm coincides with Tsukihime, which is another anime that Type Moon actually made prior to Fate Stay Night.
Yeah.
Tsukihime
Oh.
was a visual novel that came out in 2000, and then through
That's true.
the fame of Tsukihime, and they kind of wanted to integrate some similar
Oh.
aspects. That's whenever Fate Stay Night came out in 2004.
Yeah.
I
So,
know
a lot of-
Tsukihime.
Yeah, Tsukihime
I've
is a
heard
Type
of
Moon
it. Yeah.
it's a Typhoon branch, and it's really great. And Garden of Sinners, it's just a whole world there, just with Tsukihime and those characters. Actually, in our banner, we named our characters
Oh, yeah.
after them, Shiki and Melty, because those
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
Tsukihime characters.
That's cool.
So so basically Carnival Phantasm is kind of like a parody
It's
and a mix
of
of
both.
Tsukihime and Fate
franchises.
Stay Night, basically both franchises.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I just had
Yeah.
the weirdest like flashback. Okay, so here's what the only reason I know what Tsukihime is, and this is crazy that it just hit, like I looked it up and I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Okay, so when I was really young, I used to play this game on the internet, and it still exists, and maybe you guys have heard of it. It's called Mugen, and what it was is it was a fighting game where you could download any characters essentially that were created by fan creators. And I remember when I was young, I was like really into Mugen. I mean, like, guys, like it was a weird part of my past, but I was really into Mugen, and I made my own characters. I would make my own stages. I was like really in the community too. And this is like 12-year-old Jerry, by the way. So it was probably not safe that I was all over these forums, but during that time, someone had created Tsukihime characters for Mugen, and I remember I really liked them because they pulled them from I think the sprites came from some other fighting game that existed with these characters in it. I can't think of what the game was though. Is there a fighting game that features Tsukihime characters or Fate characters, and maybe they
They're
featured like a 2D fighter?
Actually,
I feel like there was
wait,
something.
like in a Street Fighter type of way.
Yes, like Street Fighter
Yeah.
style. Yeah. Like, dude,
So there actually is.
That's what I thought.
It's like on the tip.
because that's what I'm remembering it from. Is that was the? I remember I even downloaded the original 2D fighter that it was from, but I'm trying to remember. It was
Melty
called like
Blood.
Melty Blood. Melty Blood.
Yeah,
That
there
is
you
what
go.
it was
Melty
called.
Blood.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's so weird.
Yeah, Melty.
That was the game that I played when I was I played that game, and then I played the characters in my Mugen, and I thought it was so weird.
Yeah.
And I never read the visual, which now I see it was an adult visual novel, so probably good 12-year-old Jerry did not read it. Yeah, but that's so funny. I had never even considered that was like a weird memory when you mentioned that. I was like, oh my! So those characters are featured in Carnival Phantasm?
So you
What?
see, her name. It's really hard for me to pronounce, but it's like Ainkra, something like that.
Okay.
But she's the main character, of Tsukihime, and she's part of it as well. And I love Tsukihime also because they have so many. Like it's just very.
That's wild.
Parody. Like there's characters within. Like for example, her character parodies Sailor Moon, and it's like White Prisma Moon, or something like that.
Oh, that's funny.
I haven't seen Tsukihime in a long time, guys, so my memory is kind of like.
That's cool though.
comes
Yeah,
back
obviously.
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
it's very out there, and I love it equally as Fate, but it just hasn't hit
Wow.
like Fate does. And
Jesus.
Carnival Phantasm's that sweet spot for Tsukihime and Fate fans. And it's amazing because they do so many characters dirty. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that's funny.
It's good. It's good.
This is great. That was the wild. We just went on like a Fate. I want to see someone like sit down and like draw like a Fate, like I don't know, like a
Line
web,
timeline?
like a web of. There's so much.
Family tree. something.
Yeah, like a family tree. Yeah, like the Fate family. That would blow. This is such a wildly expansive series that I think that it sounds like to me. I mean, just listening to you guys talk, and even knowing Kenny, who has been a fan of Fate for a long time, it's like when I look at this series, it's like it has such a history that like every anime fan at least needs to know about it, see parts of it. I mean, at this point, it's too big to ignore. Like it's too big of a experience at this point. I mean, there's games, there's freaking movies that you're going to the theater to see, there's anime shows, I mean, there's eroge versions of it, and there's PG versions of it, so you get all this spiciness all mixed in. You've got comedy, you've got all this. I mean, what a wildly diverse and intricate series that it makes sense now, even just hearing you guys talk about why you could feature a whole channel and a whole, why you can do all this stuff around just this one universe. And I think that is so cool. At least to me, I'm like, because I love this kind of stuff. I feel like the closest I ever got was like the Lilo and Stitch universe. I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, they had all these TV shows and spin-offs and, yeah. That's, I don't know if there's any other anime that compares in the same way where there's so many people contributing to it from different places, because most anime traditionally has one author, and that one author creates the manga or the anime, and that storyline is followed beginning to end, and generally there's not as much side story, reevaluations, different adaptations, versions, different animations, all contributing to one giant experience. And I think that's what makes Fate different, right? It's what makes it's what for me, it's like if you're an anime fan, you have to know about this, because there's just no other universe like it in this medium. And I can't compare it to anything. I've been trying to like go through my head, like, is there anything that even comes close to Fate when it comes to the expansiveness, the amount of creators that have touched it, the amount of people who have been involved in it, the amount of people who have made anime but also made these visual novels. There's just so much there. So that's crazy, and we just got a really great history. I mean, that was I feel like if you listen to...
I learned a lot.
I'm about to say, if you're a listener of this podcast and you just heard Henry and Leslie talk about that for 30 minutes and you aren't interested in going and watching Fate, then there's something wrong with you. Like that, like in my mind, like...
on my other screen, I have at least 15 tabs of distinct Fates, like either games or visual novels or anime. So I learned a lot today, let me tell you.
That's crazy.
I actually wanted to just add this real quick, but Kinoko Nasu is a creator of Fate, and then legendary Takeuchi, he's the illustrator. He's what brought us the original, concept design, just
like
everything.
The first visual novel, right?
As far as the visual novels, but then obviously it turned into Type Moon. They co-created Type Moon, and then from there they brought this whole franchise out. But
yes,
I did want to say that Nasu, before he actually dove into the Fate Stay Night world and what it is, before he created that, he created something called Fate Prototype. And so Fate Prototype is actually what Fate Stay Night would have been if he went forward with this concept design.
Wow.
So in this design, Shiro was female. Right, and then you see different concept design with Lancer, you see Archer, you see Saber. So it's just very different concept designs here. Wow. And I love this because it's just so many like storyboards of what could
wow.
Prototype. So it's actually I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember, but I think this was also integrated as an OVA episode in Carnival Phantasm. I'm gonna have to go back.
Go check.
I haven't seen that in like years. Yeah. But it's really amazing to know that this is something that also could have been, and just the fact that it's just so big that you had so many other ideas that could have easily worked as well.
Yeah,
right.
Because those designs look clean.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, I'm down for that shit. I'm down.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Great. I had a fun time. We had so much fun learning about Fate from you guys. So I have one more thing that I want to talk to you two about. What are you watching or reading right now? What are you currently, whether this is a new show that's coming out or something that you have gone back and are revisiting, or it's just an old show you never watched. What are you guys currently watching in the anime or manga world, or reading or watching? So either or. What are you guys currently into right now? Or is there anything you're keeping up with weekly, so on and so forth?
So for me, keeping up, I always keep up with One Piece. And sometimes when it comes to One Piece, I kind of just let it couple weeks pass, you know, and then I just catch up just to savor just a few chapters.
I do that too sometimes. Yeah.
Wayno right now is
Wayno is
Wayno.
Henry. Woo! There's so much happening. If you are not reading the One Piece manga, yeehaw!
The Wano arc it's
Crazy.
about to blow up, I feel.
Yes.
And especially because chapter 1000 is coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oda, every time there's 2 zeros, this time
It's a crazy chapter. Yeah.
3 zeros in this chapter. He's gonna do something big. Like we already know something is gonna happen.
What did you think? I mean, he was hurt or not doing well the other day, so he took like a 3-week break. Do you? And I was like, if Oda dies, I don't know what I would do. The world would shut down. It would be game over. You know? I know. I was like, he's still young. He's so young. He's healthy. You know.
Pray for all this
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm happy. It seems like he's back in the groove of it now. It seems like he's recovered because the last couple of chapters have come out.
I would even go and say if he needs time, like if he needs to take a break, take it, please.
Yeah.
If you need to take a break, I know you're not watching this.
Yeah.
But
If you ever see it,
Oda,
Maybe
your time.
He
You
could
know,
be.
create the story that you want to create. Finish it the way you want to finish it. Don't
Yes.
let anybody tell
Agreed.
you
Agreed.
anything else.
Don't be pressured, Oda Sensei. Don't be
Yes.
pressured.
Jesus. Okay, awesome. So you're keeping up with One Piece. Anything else, Henry?
Keeping up with One Piece when it comes to the new stuff. Now I saw Jujutsu Kaisen. I saw episode 1,
Okay.
and right now I'm doing that thing with Jujutsu where I'm letting it just a few episodes pass by, and then I'm gonna just do like a follow through, like binge it, like just a few episodes, and maybe I don't know how many episodes is gonna be, Jerry. Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know if they've set a number. It's got to be either. I'm guessing it's either 12 or 24, but I don't think they've actually set the number out, which is weird because generally with seasonal stuff they will say the number from the get, but I don't know if they've actually announced it, which is weird. But my guess, I bet they'll do a 24 is my guess because the show is picking up. It doesn't feel like it's already at 7 or 8, and it does not feel like it's about to try to conclude the season, in my opinion, unless they really pick a weird place to just cut it, which would be odd to me because this show is, everyone at home listening, we talked about it on last week's podcast, especially, but guys, like,
It's great.
Jesus Christ,
It's
like,
amazing.
This show is
It gets better
off the
and
wall.
better and better. with every episode.
Mappa has.
Praise.
Mhm.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited
And
about
I
it.
have to give it all. So you know how and you guys obviously love UFO Table. I'm sure UFO Table, whatever you say it. They're a wonderful studio, and they gave Demon Slayer life. Like Demon Slayer would have never been as successful as it was without them. Like the manga had no chance of being a success. That company single-handedly saved Demon Slayer and turned it into an international phenomenon. And I think Mappa is slowly establishing themselves as a company that is on it when it comes to making quality. I mean, after Beastars, I was already kind of like, okay, yeah, Mappa's on it. They're good. They know what they're doing, and this show is establishing them even in the 2D anime world. I have been blown away. The animation is gorgeous. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. They have taken Jujutsu Kaisen and elevated. I'm not sure. I haven't read the manga, but for me, the pacing, the plotting, the way that they've chosen to step with this show so far. I mean, we're only 7 or 8 episodes. I think episode 7 was yesterday's episode.
7 just dropped.
Yeah, 7. I already watched it. I can't do what you're doing with it, Henry, because I am so excited to watch the next episode right now. Yeah.
I'm trying to see my watch history just so I can remember what I've been watching. Also,
Bro. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Besides Jujutsu, I did start. Is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon? I forgot the Japanese.
Oh, okay, yeah. Danmachi.
Danmachi.
From the beginning, or
So-
are you caught up? Or
Yeah, I'm on season 3. I was on episode 2 of season 3.
Okay.
So,
nice. Okay.
fairly- yeah, and then besides that, let's see. I mean, God, we watch a bunch of random stuff, don't we?
We have our bars literally like our bar
watch
is
a bunch
literally like Darwin's room, and then Key's neighbor, and then Charlotte, and then
Oh.
Kat. Like,
So much good
B
stuff
project.
right there.
Project over here.
project.
Leslie got me into B Project. I don't know how she
Beat
did that.
Project.
I love it. It's
Tell me
a
about.
boy.
I'm like, I don't know if I know what that is.
I love B Project.
I'll have to look it up.
It's a Leslie type of anime. That's
It's
all.
a Leslie type.
Idols. It's an idol anime, so it's like a male idol.
Oh.
Anything
Oh,
with
Hypnosis
idol,
Mike.
I love it every time.
Yeah, we started here on me, David, and Kenny. We watched the first episode of a show called Hypnosis Mike. I don't know if you've tried that yet.
I love Hypnosis.
Okay.
Okay.
The character designs were my favorite part. So it's been pretty
Animation.
fun.
It's on pre-order when they first were announced. I was like, I got it, and then
Oh my
they also
gosh.
I forgot his name, but the lead singer of Buster Bros, Aniplex, actually made an 8-scale or 7-scale figure. So
Wow. Oh wow. Jeez.
That's tight.
I heard a couple anime in there when you were listing off ones you were watching. I heard Kisniver in there. Have you guys seen it all the way through, or are you guys watching it for the first time?
I haven't seen it all the way through. I think I stopped like at episode maybe 6 or 7, but it was one of because we were watching, but it's one of those animes where I'm still not really into it. Like I was watching it, I just felt like I needed something new and fresh, even though it's not an anime. But I'll get there.
I liked Kisniver. Yeah, I liked that show. I think that it was it surprised me. I went into it with low expectations, so I was impressed at the end of it. It's not like my favorite anime by any means, but it was more fun than I expected it to be. I was like,
didn't set
I think, Kitty's ships. I remember that, Kitty. I remember how disappointed you were.
Pissed, bro.
Yeah, his ships didn't set sail. Who he thought was going to end up here. That's really fun. And Kenny, by the way, Kenny loves Charlotte. I have not watched
Charlotte's
it yet.
one of my favorites.
Kenny loves Charlotte so much. I know you guys haven't had that conversation yet, but Henry, have you seen Charlotte? Henry, have you seen Charlotte all the way through?
Yes, I love Charlotte.
You also liked it as well? Okay.
Like I think after Clanad, like Charlotte is probably going to be a close second.
God.
Oh my god. That's
Charlotte-
crazy. That's crazy that you guys say that, because the way that I had Charlotte explained to me, it sounds like it's the most. It sounds absurd. Like someone tried to explain the plot to me, and I was like, what? I was like, I was like, what's going on in this show? But I'll have to watch it for myself because I still want to form an opinion of it.
Besides that, some of the other new stuff, I watched it all the way. I really enjoyed this one. It's one of the new ones. Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh yes. Oh, how can we not talk about Rent a Girlfriend? How can we not talk about Rent a Girlfriend?
It's not my usual style or type, right? But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
I think just about it seems like last season, that was like the only show anyone watched. Like, I don't know how else to put, you know what I mean? Like every Annie-tuber, everyone was like, yeah, Rent a Girlfriend. And I think that it probably has merit. I haven't started it yet, but I'll probably give it a watch. But I know that there's lots of ships. And I know a lot of people have best girls in that show. And, so...
Only one best girl, Okay.
Kitty, do you have a best girl in there?
Yeah, the main girl. What
the main girl? I don't know.
Come on,
I think some people in that show like the other girls. There's like other girls that he can end up with,
wrong.
right?
So I hate to break it to you.
Okay.
No,
so
I was the same way with Nisekoi though. Okay, I was a Chitoge. Period. That's it.
So
done. Signed, sealed, delivered. That's it.
Henry, did that season end? Is Rent a Girlfriend season over?
Is it 12? Is it at 12?
It's 12 episodes.
But it's not. Is there more manga to adapt, or did it adapt everything?
A ton. No, yeah. There's like 150 chapters.
Oh, okay. So there's going to be more to come, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hope they do.
Didn't they have trailers for season 2 recently?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Okay, cool. So Rent a Girlfriend. And then you're going to get into Jujutsu. We believe in you. You guys will both like it.
Besides that, just your usual, like I try to, like, I watch one episode of some of the new stuff that's coming up or some of the new stuff that's already releasing. Like Fire Force, I was keeping up with it consistently for the most part. And then I kind of made a pause right now, but I'm eventually going to get back on it. And
I got bored with Fire Force for some reason. I don't know why.
That's kind of what was happening to me.
I got bored right now just talking about it.
Yeah, look, thank you, Leslie. Thank you. It feels so like, I hate to say this about Fire Force. It feels so like it's almost too typical shonen. Like it doesn't have anything that's like expanding or making the genre move forward, which is really tough to watch because like nowadays like a shonen has to me like Promised Neverland is like a shonen anime that is elevating that genre. Like shonen is better because Promised Neverland exists. In my mind. And I think that there are other shows like that. Like My Hero, as much as My Hero is very typical, it's been able to do things with characterizations and with some of their theming that has allowed it to elevate shonen. But I feel like Fire Force, unfortunately, sort of just exists as like the most like middle of the line it does what it does, and it's just going to keep doing it. And I don't know why. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe it'll blow my mind. Maybe there's something that'll happen in it, and it'll turn it around. But I think it's just going to end up closing up in that same way that it started, and that it just will come. People will like it, and then it'll go. But I don't know.
The animation, because David Productions does this animation, the animation is beautiful, and there are like some fights that, you know, the animation shines, the choreography of the fight's really cool, but there are some moments where it's like a slow trudge from high point to high point.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Cool.
Another one that I took a pause on also was God of High School.
Oh yeah. Me too.
God of High School. I don't know how that one's been going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys think
we well, Kenny and I are on like episode 8 or 9, so we also took a pause.
I read the webtoon.
Kenny read Kenny read every chapter of the webtoon, which blew my mind. I was like, Kenny, what is wrong with you? I think what's weird is like, I don't know. To me, God of High School is the best of the webtoon adaptations. Like, Tower of God was bad. Tower of God was tough.
Flopped for me very quickly.
Yes, Tower of God was not good. And
I think Leslie saw the first episode. She's like, "This is stupid. I'm done. I'm not gonna."
Thank you, Leslie. Bless you, Leslie. Bless you.
I can't do it.
I tried and I couldn't do it either.
Even God of High School, I can't get in. It's just there's just those animes that just don't hit.
They don't hit. Yeah, Tower of God was a big. I could not. I don't know why I forced myself to watch the whole season, because I felt like I had to watch it just so that I could adequately tell people like this was not good. Like, this wasn't good. Like, but and then obviously I don't know if you guys have tried it yet. Noblesse is the third like webtoon adaptation, and
I've heard about it. Yeah,
we already like.
It's on Crunchyroll right now, yeah.
It's on Crunchyroll, yes. Yeah. So we have already dropped. Me and Alyssa, my wife, we tried to start it, and no chance. I mean, that show was so bad. Like, we did not like it at all. And we were just like, I'm not watching any more of that crap. So.
Which? I think I saw.
Yes, Henry. Yes. We love Burn the Witch.
Fan of Bleach.
Yeah.
We're big Bleach fans.
Yeah. Me and Kenny and David, we loved Burn the Witch, the anime that they did, and the manga, the short mangas, you know, just so cool, and we're super excited because we know Kubo's teasing us, and we know his ass is gonna make more. We know his ass is gonna make more. He's acting all coy about it, like, oh, you know, I might make a little bit more. I don't know.
Again. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, because he's been on after Bleach, he took a break. He's been off from writing manga, and it's been a couple years now that he has just not messed with anything. So it's weird to see him back, and I hope that because honestly, Bleach kind of sucks storyline wise in the back half. They kind of had us in the first half there with Bleach, but and it's one of those things. Kubo just kind of doesn't know how to end, I guess is the word I would use. He just didn't know what to do, and I'm worried. I don't want Burn the Witch to go the same route. I like that it's a shorter story, it's condensed, and it's more of him telling a condensed story. I hope that it doesn't end up as like, I don't want it to be hundreds of chapters long, but if he makes a bit more content, I would like that because I love the characters.
I actually have a question. Mm-hmm. Is Burn the Witch, like, is it meeting y'all's expectations? After Bleach and after everything, like, is it where you want it to be? Is it what you were expecting while y'all were
Can he drop?
The question was
David, tell us. David, tell us.
So I think because in Burn the Witch, have you guys seen the movie? Or
did you guys watch it or no?
I haven't.
Okay.
I've seen the first one. I got to see the other two. I haven't seen.
I've seen the first.
Okay.
Because the intro is 3 episodes, right?
Yeah. So it's like technically a movie, but Crunchyroll splits into three episodes.
It was designed as a film, and then they just cut it into 3 like points. But
but everything that's out for Burn the Witch so far, which I mean those chapters in 3 episodes, the movie. Near the end of it, and I won't spoil, but they introduce a lot of characters, and they kind of build up kind of what the universe can be. Mm-hmm. And there's basically like a lot of cliffhangers in terms of it basically tells you that there will 80% most definitely will be a continuation of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they do that bullshit thing with the title where they put up Burn the Witch.
Oh yeah.
And they color in BLEACH, and you're like,
yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys have. Yeah, essentially, Kubo has hinted that Burn the Witch is taking place in the exact same universe as Bleach, even though it's not explicitly interacting with Bleach characters. but it is in the same world, and so they hint towards that. So that's I think that's also getting some Bleach fans excited. Also, obviously, the new Bleach anime next year that they're finally going to adapt the final arc, like that is getting us hype again.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, so there's a lot come. So I think it's worth watching the film. I think it's a really cool and well crafted film. I just don't want him to overdo it. I think that if he does too much, he's gonna fall on his face again because he's not a great story writer. Like Kubo has proven time and time again, like story is not his thing. He's a much better visual artist. Like he's a really talented artist. And that's what blows my mind about Kubo is he's a mangaka that the style that he has designed is just amazing. So I want him to just take it slow, take his time, and plot out something that's going to be fun. And so far he's done that. So it's definitely met what I was wanting. And it was hype enough that we talked about it on this podcast for like 4 weeks in a row. Because we were just so hyped as the chapters were coming out and then the anime premiered. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun because... so I think it's met our expectations overall, but
I think you could also tell too that there was like if you are a diehard fan of Bleach, you get from all the fan service that it provided, it did a great job of just getting you excited.
And the two lead girls are total waifus.
Oh
yes, they. Oh my god,
I like her appearance, her character. I think
yes,
she's really cute.
they're both total.
Their designs are cute.
Absolutely.
When noobs noobs within the weeb community, when they're like, I don't know her name, but she's cute. The one with blonde hair.
Yeah. That's true. I love it. Okay. We're getting up on 2 hours now, so we probably are about to wrap this thing up. Did you guys, out of curiosity, did you guys have other shows you were watching?
Well, no, I mean, besides that,
that was more what Henry's watching.
Oh, yeah, Leslie, you're not watching any of that. Well, tell us, Leslie, what else are you watching?
What am I
the last thing I watched was the most recent episode of Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, we haven't watched it yet. Don't spoil it. I'm a type of person.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
I need to go watch it. Season 2 is.
I've heard so far so good, but I'll probably sit down and watch it all when it's all out. So
I hope that they keep it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Leslie. What are you watching? I want to know because I'm curious. I assumed you guys were watching all those together, so I was like, oh, okay.
We have different watch times.
Everything is integrated in a watch schedule.
We have our own TV.
Oh my god.
What I'm currently watching, actually, I'm rewatching. Let's categorize it like that.
Okay.
Second season of Fake Liner Prisma Ilia.
Okay.
So I'm literally laughing at the same stuff that I laughed at years ago. But it's still funny to me. So it's like I'm laughing, but I knew anyway. So I'm rewatching Fake Liner Prisma Ilia season 2. I'm also about to rewatch. It's a reverse harem. It's called Hanasekuru Sei Shonen.
Okay, yes, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
So it's on Crunchyroll. It's actually my favorite reverse harem of all time.
Okay.
39 episodes deep. It's such a good reverse harem, and I'm rewatching that, and it's amazing, and I love it. The second thing that I'm also rewatching, the reason I'm saying rewatching, I don't want it to be like a thing. It's because new anime right now is just not appealing to me.
So she's watching all her favorites.
I'm rewatching the faves. So the newest thing that I did see that was the last thing I saw was Mr. Love, which is a reverse harem also based on a mobile game. So that was the last thing that I saw. It's on Crunchyroll as well.
Mr. Love, okay.
Mr. Love, yeah. And so I feel so dumb saying
Tab 22.
You're like a little. It's so interesting because this is like way outside of the type of stuff that we watch. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
I'm really in the reverse harem, world. And so also another thing that I'm currently rewatching is The World is Still Beautiful.
I think I've heard of that as well.
It's so good.
I'm rewatching that together.
He's actually watching it for the first time also, and I'm on my third rewatch with it. But I love it. It's great. Yeah, I'm the queen of rewatch.
We're just the most
you are the queen. I'm like, wow. I thought my wife was the queen of rewatching, but you give her a run for her money. She does the same thing. She'll literally if something is just like her favorite thing, she just rewatches it over and over again. Like
she knows.
Yes,
That you have to rewatch and rewind and and then reading wise, nothing much with reading.
Yeah.
I am reading Vampire Night Memories. So I'm waiting on volume 5. So it's coming up. I pre-ordered it. So I was reading that because that's the only part of Vampire Knight that I didn't read outside of the original manga.
Interesting.
Then,
okay.
Yeah. Then after that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Any past things that I was reading was Promised Neverland, the manga, and then Attack on Titan. But that was like. So
Has the Attack on Titan? I'm about to say has the manga ended yet, or is it still going? Does anyone know?
I think it's about to.
It's like about to end.
I don't even know. I stopped like literally where the anime is. I was like reading that way before it was even gonna be on TV. So it's same thing with Promised Neverland. Like like the ending, like you already know when I finished that one. But it's kind of like you stop and it's like
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to look into all these other shows that you these reverse harem and stuff that I'm like dang, this is like the side of anime and manga that I very rarely dip my toes into.
All the pretty boys.
We watched for the podcast we watched a show called Banana Fish. Leslie, have you ever heard of it?
Oh yes. Did you cry?
Yes.
Almost did.
Yeah, it got. Yeah, I think that show was very interesting because I know it has a huge like cult following. Like, there's a lot of people who really love it. So it was really interesting to watch that just from our perspective because it's definitely outside of the genre that we would traditionally watch. So it was really fun, and we definitely want to dip our toes for our podcast. We want to dip our toes and do a couple more outside of what we would traditionally watch. That's part. Yeah, it's part of what we wanted to do with this podcast is to get time to. So I'm literally like writing yours as like suggestions. I'm like, the world is still beautiful. This one looks really interesting, honestly. So I'm like,
it's really. It's not something very like. It's not something like a shonen head would like or anything that but it's really cute and it's charming. And I don't know. I just think it just fits to what I like, which is very cheesy and tropey anime.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sensitive side, the romance kind of era. So I really love that anime. It's one of my favorites.
That's awesome. Yeah. Are you guys keeping up with the new Fruits Basket anime? Isn't it? I think it's still running too.
I haven't seen it. I was watching it for a little bit.
Oh, that's like I feel like that's like the most mainstream like romance anime of all time almost.
Basket, we actually so I saw the original,
I've seen that OG one.
I like the original one, and so then we actually it's on our channel, but we did a vlog where we went to the pre-screening, like the first time they were gonna show
3 episodes,
the first
2 or 3 episodes,
and we did a vlog, a little review after that. But
which we're planning to do something similar for Heaven's Feel Part 3.
Oh, please do.
We're gonna do that for sure.
That's awesome.
With I don't know. I'm always, you were talking about something interesting, Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Well, when it comes to content creation and stuff like that, like even that, like I know you mentioned like talking more about anime and stuff like that, and we are trying to see if we can find ways to do that as well. Like vlogging, I think that's one fun part, especially because the country has been closed for the last I don't know how many months. So going out,
pushing on a year almost at this point.
Yeah, 8 months now, 8-9 months, pretty much everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a fun time doing something like that as well. But also, like a big stumbling block when it comes to collecting and when it comes to figures is just. You gotta keep buying and to keep making content,
Yep.
So that's the hard part. That it is a lot of money when it comes to collecting figures. Sometimes it is hard to create content and be like, all right, I'm gonna spend another $100 here or another $200 here.
Right.
Especially thanks to you, Nakama. I'm buying Pokemon cards now, and freaking that has been a money pit. No, that has been a money pit. Thanks. I can't believe how much money I've spent on Pokemon cards. It's absurd. And I had to take a step back and I was like, how have I spent more on Pokemon cards than collectibles? Like I was like, when did this happen? I
remember when I was going really hard into Yu-Gi-Oh and collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was going into buying, like they just came out with a new Yu-Gi-Oh set called Maximum Gold.
Man, I saw it.
There's been like 3 or 2 previous sets in the past where they've done the Maximum Gold or the Gold series.
Yeah.
And I remember buying those sets back then. I was going crazy for them. And then Pokemon crept in it as well back then.
Oh, yeah.
And I just feel I thought that Pokemon TCG was gonna be like the filler episodes, of my collecting experience.
Oh no.
But I'm slowly finding out that it's it's so hard for it not to become an addiction.
Yes, it's so easy to just like you're like, oh, I'll grab 2 or 3 packs today at Walmart. I don't, it's no big. And then all of a sudden, it's like you have collected hundreds and hundreds of cards, and you're like, oh shit.
Every single time.
Yeah, dude, Leslie, I'm sorry.
Gamble every single time. It's a gamble.
I don't get mad because it's a gamble or because it's money. What annoys me is the fact that you could get into that and collect it. I don't see the point. I'm sorry for any TCG fans out there, but I don't see the point in collecting a tiny card. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You'll probably say the same thing about I don't see the point in you spending $300 on plastic. I get it. We have the same opinions, but what I do say, I can't. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I tried. I really did. I couldn't get into it.
I don't know what. Yeah, honestly, it's weird. My collecting I obviously love figures and toys, but when I started buying cards, at first there was just sort of a thrill of like, what could be in this pack, and then it was like, I don't know. I do want to find a better way to, like, I started putting mine in binders, and then I put the binders in like a nice display, and then with all the Pokemon stuff around it as well. So it like looks like a little Pokemon card. It's in one of my other rooms. I'll have to show it one of these days. But, because I was like, wait, I want to display these. And I was like, how the hell what do I do with cards? I was like shook. I was like, for a minute there, I was like, what do I do with these? I was like, I have all these cards now, and I'm like, how do I make these palatable or like a part of my because when I collect, I want my displays to look interesting, and I want them to be something that I enjoy when I look at it. So it has been tough because part of it is it's genuinely a gambling addiction, to be honest. Like it's literally like you get this thrill when you pull that card and you see that Charizard, right, Henry? And you see that card worth $500.
I'm lucky, baby. Okay,
yeah.
I'm lucky.
Yes. Kenny pulled my.
I'm 1 for 1.
All the drugs, it's euphoria,
It's like oh.
What the?
I don't know, but the closest thing to cards that I get is just like these.
Oh, those are cool though. Those are so cool.
Oh, those are cool.
Oh, those are dope.
Yeah, with the see, that's a Reshkigal. So this is it's part of like the game, like the game where you
right.
Yeah.
All right.
But even with this, I don't know how to display it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I still. Yeah, that's something I'm still.
It's like sitting out.
What I've started doing, Leslie, is literally I have Pokemon binders that are Pokemon themed, and then I have them display like the binders displayed with like figures and boxes and Pokemon because all the Pokemon stuff comes in like tins or like boxes. So I've used those to like build a display around the binders. So you would still have to like pull the binder out and like look in it to look at the cards themselves, but the binders are Pokemon themed. I don't know. That's the only way I could think to do it for now. Because
Leslie is so annoyed with the amount of tins that I have.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some of
How many things do you have?
Some of them you have to throw away.
Don't worry, babe. I'll fix it. Okay.
He never fixes them. I end up fixing them, and then he gets mad because he's like, "Why are you hiding my stuff? But your face stuff gets, the presence of the room." And I'm like, "Stop!" Like,
and then you see me going like, "Hey, babe, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to Walmart. What are you gonna do? Just browse."
Just
It's never just browsing.
Yes, it's never
back
browse.
with 10 packs. Like,
yeah. Honestly, when I opened the new set yesterday, and I pulled something great. I pulled a pretty good card. We'll have a YouTube video on it, hopefully very soon. I already started editing it. So, but the new pack is really, really fun, Henry. I know you probably shouldn't buy it, but Vivid Voltage is a blast, dude. It's the card artwork is beautiful. I really like the whole set. Such good cards in the V cards, the V Maxes, the rainbows. So, I mean, one of my favorite Pokemon waifus has a card in it, and that's Nessa. And oh my God, she's so. So I don't know. So
Robin, I hear you. Calm down.
I know. I'm like, Robin, chill. It's like, oh, bless you, Nico, Robin. I have to go back. Yeah. I'd be like,
your wall right there behind you.
Robin's my true waifu forever and always, though. So you're right. Okay.
I'm sorry. I know that we've gone on.
No, this is good content.
I did want to say something because I actually saw this, and it's like a topic of controversy within the One Piece world, and it goes with Robin. And so apparently there's fans that are upset about her New World appearance and how light her skin color is.
Yeah.
And people get mad because they say, I really like the Robin from, like the past arc Robin, where she's like very like tanned and you know, her hair. And honestly, I love that one more than I love this Robin. It's just something about that style that just like, I just love the whole Western kind of
the cowboy one.
That was amazing. But I do like it. But there was like controversy with that where it was like, man, I want her back like that. Like people were like, did she just get rid of her tan or whatever?
That is a thing.
Right. And I mean, they were in Alabasta, the Desert Kingdom.
She got sunburned. She got burned. And did she spend
like 2 years in the
winter zone?
People were actually freaking out. Like genuinely, they were like, what? I want to go back to that Robin. And it's like, you have to understand 2 years passed. She's not going to look the same.
Yeah. To my understanding,
for a bit with crocodiles, so ain't nothing but sun.
Literally.
So boys,
Alabasta.
Correct me if you guys know more, boys, because I have a little bit of insight about this, but just from what I've read, I mean, I don't know much beyond it, but to my understanding, and you can actually go kind of quality check this, but when Oda first drew Robin in the manga, he actually drew her very fair skinned in the color versions that he would do. And he drew her as very light skinned, but it seems like there was some sort of miscommunication between the anime team and Oda. And so the anime team actually darkened her skin in their initial version because they assumed, most likely because the way he drew her, that she was supposed to be someone that was not Japanese, like someone that, especially, I mean, look at the way he draws her nose, her facial features, he draws her in a different way. And so I think there was a miscommunication and the anime team decided to run with it. They're like, okay, we're going to make her dark skinned. But at some point, Oda got back with them and was like, hey, when you guys jump to the new world, can you correct this? Like, I don't want her to, I want her to be more fair skinned. And so they went with that decision and they ran with it despite the community's outcry. We liked the decision to make her more tan, to give her some sort of character, especially because Oda's given her a nationality. He's actually given all the main crew a nationality, and it would have fit with that. I'm trying to remember, maybe Brazilian or something like that. I'm trying to remember what he gave Robin's actual nationality. I'll have to look it up. But it's just like Usopp. Like Usopp's supposed to be from Africa, like that. If it was like a real life world, he claims like Usopp's character would be from Africa, and Zoro would be from Japan. Like he's given them sort of thought into that. So I don't know why. I've always wondered maybe if Oda just didn't like that direction, and he was just if that was what it was, or if the anime team just was like, let's lighten her up. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to make her more appealing to the Japanese audience, which is something I also thought about. And over time, Oda has, to be honest, I think Robin has had the most like Oda has like given her the most disservice. Like she started as such a wonderful character that had such depth, especially with her backstory, and then slowly she's kind of been sidelined as sort of the back of the crew. Like he has not given her any opportunities since then. She doesn't fight. She doesn't. She pretty much just exists as a means for them to get the Poneglyphs, and that's like. I think that's disappointing because she was given such a rich history, and then the arc, when you watch Water 7, Robin becomes this like, she's so humanized, and then it's like right after that she just fades into the background of the crew. And despite the fact that even characters like Brooke and Frankie in the later arcs have gotten in-depth moments. I mean, when you watch Brooke face off with Big Mom in the Whole Cake Island arc, it's chilling. I mean, that's such a big moment for Brooke. Even Nami has had these characters, and Robin has just been so fucking mistreated. Okay, I just get so sad. I get flamed up when I realize that Oda just has like totally given up on her, and I don't know why. Nobody knows why. I mean, I think he felt like he gave up on Sanji, and then all of a sudden Sanji gets this incredible arc. So in the late game, Whole Cake Island gave Sanji a whole new renaissance of a character, and has given him even more depth going into in Wano. And I'm just like, come on, like Oda, give us something for Robin. Like she can do more than just exist as like the reader of the Poneglyphs. I don't know.
Translator, basically.
Maybe she'll get more as they get closer to.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so.
And I'm about to say she's involved with the
revolutionaries.
Luffy's dad, with the revolutionaries.
Yes, she does have that sort of character development. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely like Brown. I like Tan Robin. I mean, I like Tan Robin. I think she was more appealing. I think that as a character, she just like I don't know. Like she kind of gives people, having someone on the main crew that's darker skinned to me. like would have gone a long way. And the fact that they decided to make her more fair skinned is pretty odd. I mean, they do have a skeleton and a fish man, so like, you know, there's some diversity there, but
A robot.
but yeah, a robot,
Cyborg,
and,
yeah.
you know, but I still wish, I think that having someone, so I'm really curious what they're going to do with the live action adaptation of it with the diversity of the casting. Yeah, look, yeah, it's coming, Henry, whether we want it or not, it's coming.
I don't know if I want to watch that or not.
Yeah.
Whether
Whether we want it or not, it's going to happen, and we can't stop it. It's already been written. It's been written and post-production, and supposedly there's already behind this that it's happening, and I don't know what. And yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do with that as well. But that is such. Robin is my everything in the entire world, and I will never not cry when Jaguar D. Saul dies. I will never not feel so emotionally impacted by her, because she was just this, you know, like the circumstance led to her becoming. I love her story because her circumstance is what led her to becoming a villain, but then realizing that she can change her circumstance, and like her desire to move beyond that is one of my favorite stories, because, you know, she goes from villain to joining the crew, but then having to sort of redeem that experience. And so I hate that Oda has not given her more, you know. Now she's walking tits essentially, which is like, maybe I'm okay with sometimes, but you know, like, I mean, I obviously, yeah, I love her a lot, but
Yeah.
she's my
And
everything.
like the last time I saw Robin do something like epic was whenever she was protecting Rebecca. You know?
Yes.
What I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Such a good
Rosa,
moment.
that was a lot. And then you see kind of Rebecca run to Kiros, and then you see like the camera pans and you see Robin's back, like all bloody, and she's just smiling. You know, like she doesn't care that she's hurt. Like she's smiling because
That
she
was
protected somebody that she, you know, she became fond of. You know?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was epic. And then to kind of go now where we're at, and it's just like, wait, you're in One Piece? Oh,
Yeah. Oh
you know,
yeah.
I see her now. It's like, and I hate that because, like you said, she's such an in-depth character that deserves more in-depth dialogue.
Yeah.
And you know, just parts with what's going on.
I do think that Oda has gotten to the point where he unfortunately has fleshed out so many characters that like he is struggling to still continue, like, the, you know, like right now in the current arc in the manga, we were just introduced to a new, I don't want to spoil it too much, but you know, the character that we all just met, if you are reading the manga, you know, what was it, like 10 chapters ago, that character is already getting a lot of depth as a character. But then we've also got Drake's story, which is playing out in the background of what's happening right now as well, and us having to deal with that. But then on top of that, Zoro and Sanji and Luffy are also being developed, while we also, the entire izakaya, the entire Odin's whole, they're each getting small plot development as well. And I'm like, it's crazy, because I'm like, shit, like, how is Oda going to continue to balance? You know, now we know, especially after Odin's flashback arc that was like, how long, like 15, 20 chapters long. And I was like, there's so much. Oda just is, I can only imagine it's just going to get harder and harder for him to give time and attention to every character. But I do wish that, you know, this is his main crew. Like, give them, like, I get it, side characters are fun. I love to learn that Senor Pink's baby is the reason he dresses like a baby. Beautiful story, but I want him to remember that he picked main characters for a reason, and that we need, like, we are invested in those characters, and that we you know, he shouldn't completely overshadow them just to give us all these side characters. I love the side characters. Oda is a master at building up characters to make you care about them. But damn, like, I'm gonna rant for too long.
Corazon, like, come on.
Yes.
Introduced for like 2 episodes, and I'm over here like crying. I'm like, how? Like, I can't. I was
True rivers.
So crazy.
True rivers of tears.
Crazy.
Can I say one more thing though? Okay.
Yes.
With One, something that also annoys me, and I know Henry, I've asked him questions, and it's just so crazy because how do we not know, like, Zoro's true backstory? Like, do you think it will be touched? Do you think it'll stay like that? Because it's
I think
still,
that's what Wano is for.
it's still crazy.
Yeah,
I think
just
it's
learned
coming.
about Sanji, and we've known Sanji since
I mean,
the beginning.
Think about it. Luffy's backstory alone, which we knew a lot about, he got a whole brand new arc about his backstory 500 chapters in. And you know, I was like, God damn, like, what? Where did this come from? But it was so cool to see it, because we had these inklings. You know, we met Ace, we watched Ace die, and then it was like, oh look, there was more to this history and story, even though we were already invested, and now we got that depth. And Sanji's character just went through that same transformation to me. It was like Sanji was an in-depth character, but now he is even more fleshed out by getting more to the reasoning behind why. So I think Zoro's next. In my mind, it's gotta be next, right? Zoro's backstory is
already got development in Wano.
Yeah.
Remember, he got a new story. He got Enma, so he pretty much inherited a little bit of Odin's will right there. You know, actually getting the sword. So I definitely feel we're gonna find out at least who Zoro's parents are.
Yeah.
Or where he really come
or
from.
any connection.
And I have a feeling he has a connection to Wano somehow.
Yeah, he's got to, right? Because all we know about Zoro now is that he was a young kid. He was rambunctious. He trained at a dojo. He got super strong. His friend fell down some stairs and died. He promised he was going to be the best sword. Yeah.
You heard that controversy, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Murdered, actually, by her father.
Yeah, I'm like,
she fell
down the stairs? Yeah, I'm like, whoops. So, you know, and then, then he, says I'm going to be the best swordsman, seeks out Mihawk. We know a little bit about when he was a mercenary or whatever, and he worked with Johnny and Yosaku. We got a little bit of that, and then essentially leads to where we met him in the story. So there's definitely more depth there that is missing. Like, how the hell did he end up in this dojo? Like, what was his, where was he at before that? Where were his parents? Yeah. Where the hell, like, there's got to be more there, and I think Oda is getting us there. I think it's finally time. I think he's about to do it. I think it could happen the next, I think it could happen around the next 20, 30 chapters. I think we could see it happening. So,
I pretty much agree with everything you said, but I still have faith in Oda. I don't know.
Me too.
He does. That's why I said if he needs to take his time, he needs to take his time. Just flesh it all out. Do it really good because there's so many fans, so many people expecting great things. And we're just all wondering, how is he going to do this?
Yeah.
Everybody's speculating also, saying this.
He'll find a way. He'll find a way.
He'll find a way.
If you had told me all these years ago when I became a super fan of One Piece that One Piece would be the last one standing between Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, and that it would be the biggest anime and manga essentially in the world, you would have never convinced me. I was a super fan. I remember being in 8th grade, and my buddy and I, we raced. We found the 4Kids dub. We didn't like it, so we downloaded all of the subtitled version, and we raced to see who could finish it first. And we watched it every single day as long as we could, and I fell in love with it. And it's crazy because I read the manga, I watched the anime, it became, and it's weird that as an 8th grader, and now my wife and I watch it every week. That's a weird thing to say, that this series has been with me for so long. And yeah, you could have never convinced me that One Piece would be the one that had this immaculate of storytelling and this massive world. I obviously knew it as a kid because I was crying when I saw the doctor, sacrifice himself.
Luke,
oh my God. That's one of those first moments where I went, oh my God, this show is brilliant. When you watch Dr. Hill.
But can we talk about Bon Clay's? I know he's still alive, but Bon Clay,
he's got to still be alive. He has to, right? Please.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say.
Lord.
Oda just finds ways. There's Bon Clay. He was introduced in Alabasta. Then we see him again
and now
in Impel Down.
Yeah.
Same thing with Buggy. We saw him at the very beginning of One Piece. He was the first big villain in a way, and then we see him again in pretty much Impel Down as well, and then the rest of Marineford. Yeah, and then he becomes Buggy. I don't understand Buggy.
Yeah, nobody does. Kenny has a question. Kenny has a question for you, Henry. He has a question.
Okay. Buggy's fruit is the chop fruit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Bar no mi. Yeah.
That's the chop fruit. So it makes his body break apart. So I just have a question. Why can Buggy fly?
Why can he fly? Henry, what about his skill? In what world? What? He can't just fly. He can fly significant distances. He has talked about, he can, legitimately... And I've been trying to piece it together, but Oda just decided, I guess if he can split his body apart, he can just fly.
If you remember the explanation of that in Marineford, it's funny the way
you
Oda
get
does Devil Fruits because he can do whatever he wants.
You have to carry his legs.
Yeah.
And then the way he explains it is if Buggy has his feet on the ground, and they explain
Oh
at the
yeah,
beginning.
that's true.
They
does.
explain at the beginning of how
Yeah.
Naruto always has like a little mini explanation. All right, this person has the Yami Yami no Mi or the Gum Gum
Right.
root, this and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always like a but or this and that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, if he keeps his feet on the ground,
Mhm.
if his body gets chopped off, pretty much the other members of his body can float.
Right.
Yeah.
You can fly.
Legs
Yep.
have to be like on
But his
the
legs
ground.
have to be, his feet
His
have to
feet.
be on
Yeah,
the
but-
ground.
Yeah. I know. Because remember,
Makes sense.
But
Mr.
it's
Tree would carry his feet around.
Oh yeah. There's one
It-
part where Luffy carried his feet when they're running through
Yeah,
and
he
fell
would
down.
carry his feet around.
that, you see, I
It's
can't.
like a certain distance. Like his
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
can be separate. to a certain
What does
extent.
what does an
why?
awakened but what does an awakened version of Buggy's fruit look like? I've been thinking about
Yeah.
too. Is he going to be able to chop other things up like Law's fruit almost? Like
Oh,
what?
That'd be dope though.
Yeah.
He will probably
That
be
would
able
Think
to
about
chop
other people fly.
the
Yeah.
environment around him.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm about to say. He would be able to like mince and
Yeah.
chop, and which would be. It kind of sounds like it would be really powerful if he could
does,
utilize it.
I'm
And-
worried now a bit. Like I feel kind of
And-
worried.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like I know we were talking about like fleshing out characters, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like for example, I feel Robin. Like I love Robin too, but I feel
too.
like we did get because Robin was introduced in Alabasta,
Yep.
and then in Water 7, we got something amazing with Robin. It's kind
Yeah.
of like she was,
Got a lot of backstory.
Her arc happened. Yeah, she got her arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're a mega fan, so you want more
Yeah.
Robin. So
Yes.
I think anybody who loves One Piece and loves her character wants more Robin. I think.
Yeah.
You know, especially how she's being done right now, you just crave more of her.
I want more Hancock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Boa.
my
Boa.
God.
Look at Kenny. Kenny's got it. Kenny loves Boa. Oh my god.
I
That's
love
crazy.
Boa.
Give me some
That's
Boa.
crazy. That's
I need
beautiful.
her.
Organ
I think
sisters,
that-
like,
I think we'll get more Boa. I think Boa is definitely going to be more
Yeah,
flesh.
she has
She's
to
going to have
make a
more
comeback.
moment. I
Yeah.
fully expect that.
I know
Yeah,
it's
Boa and Luffy are gonna get married. So.
Oh,
I
my-
want them to get I want them together so, and I know it might not happen because the romance is the adventure.
yeah.
But it's not necessarily the characters. I want them to get together, and
Yes.
it's something that I want so bad within any anime. Like I would put
Mhm.
that on top of.
I think
any other-
Oda will. I think he'll at least
Yeah.
bless us with some sort of in the end, Boa and Luffy, even if it's just an epilogue shot of them. I think he's gonna imply that they end up together. You know what I mean? I could, I think it's got to happen.
like that. He has to do it.
I
Yes.
think he's following the footsteps as Roger. So Roger ended up with Rouge.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
So, but I still feel like they're the kind of characters where they're so focused on the adventure, they're so focused
Yeah.
on their mission to find One Piece,
Right.
or the mysteries of the world, etc., whatever, right?
Mhm.
To have the greatest adventure of all time.
Yep.
And I think secondary to them is romance.
Yes. Yes.
Telling
Yeah.
like
Way in the background.
yeah.
I
All
need it to
right.
happen.
We have done, guys. We have gone for a long time, and I knew One Piece was going to get us there once we started. I was like, "Uh-oh, we are on the One Piece track now." So this has turned into the Fate podcast, and then also partially a One Piece podcast, which is great because obviously we're super fans of One Piece, and we know you guys are as well. So this was perfect to talk about One Piece like that. But I want to make sure that we wrap up. Kenny, I think we'll save an Unraveled for next time. I think we've unraveled. Yeah, we'll save it for next time.
We've unraveled quite a bit.
We've unraveled a lot of stuff today. So, but I want to just say thank you again, Henry, Leslie. You guys are a joy. Obviously, I love talking to you guys. For the last couple months, and getting to know you over the last year or two has been wonderful. Really great people, and you guys, everyone listening to this, you probably already subbed to Nakama, but if not, go follow him. Go follow them on social medias. They are wonderful. They make wonderful content about Fate, obviously, right now. But more to come, I'm sure. And they are just wonderful, fantastic. And we had a joyous conversation with them today. This was a blast. I am so happy that we were able to make this happen. But yes, if you guys can, like, comment, subscribe to us here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We are available now on all listening platforms. So go check us out over there if you want to just listen to this podcast and not watch it on YouTube. It's more fun watching it. That's why we do a video podcast, because you get to see all of this that happens here. But if you are not wanting to watch it on the video, definitely check us out on our listening platforms. Other than that, guys, We are so grateful to all of you for coming back and listening to us again, and we want to thank you so much, and we hope you stick with us and stick with the Uncensored Anime Podcast as we continue to bring out more content and more wonderful stuff that you guys will enjoy. So, Henry, Leslie, what we do at the end of every episode is we throw up just a peace sign, and we say peace. So if you guys want to join us in that, thank you guys for listening, and peace!